Bobby G is a whole ass bitch. Mic check. Happy Friday, everybody. Good to be here. Good to be seen. Good to see you. I can't believe it's Friday, honestly. Usually by Friday, I'm dead. And I gotta say, as we start, and I hope she's here. I didn't even really think about it, but having one of our great mods, B, help me out with the outlines all week has really made this a lot easier. So thank you, everybody. Johnny's early. Johnny says balls. Thanks for being here all this week, and a special thanks to my mods for keeping shit going while I have mental breakdown after mental breakdown. This morning I lost my phone for like 20 minutes and I found it in the refrigerator. So that's how our day's going today. It's going really well. You need the Bobby T. Let me show you something. A lot of people that are here, I mean, obviously not everybody that's here is in our Discord, but we do have a Discord, and one of the funnest places in the Discord is a channel called Tea Time. I'm just trying to slide this over so I don't let any messages out there. This is what it looks like. So if you need tea, if you're ever wondering what's going on TikTok, what's the tea? This is the T channel right there. You can join the Discord by sending any of our moderators a message, and they'll get you an invite to the Discord, and you can come hang out there. The T section of the Discord has been the most active, but I'd love to have more people in there. I would love for those of you, even if you don't normally use Discord. I never used Discord until I had a Discord, and it's just a cool place. It's a cool app. I think the community that we have there is really funny and snarky and super fucking lib. So conservatives might not be a great place for you, but if you're not a conservative, might be a good spot for you. Amy said we got a liberal American Pope. Goddamn right we did. And there was a big. This is what I love Chicago. The Pope is announced. In Chicago, within like 30 minutes, you had the entire city of Chicago arguing whether or not the Pope was a White Sox or a Cubs fan. I didn't understand. Honestly, I didn't understand the demographics of this. I think it's like south side, like the south side of Chicago is Sox, and the north side is Cubs. Is that right? Somebody, if you're in Chicago, you can let me know. But it turns out the Pope is a White Sox fan, which sucks. Because, well, I don't know. I guess if you're a Chicago baseball fan, it's just not like a ton of good years for you. Not since what was that guy's name? What was Rookie of the Year's name? Rulin. I just remember the guy saying Rulenmacher. What was his name? Let's look that up. Do you guys remember that movie? This movie, Rookie of the Year. It's a great. I'm gonna see if my daughter will like Rookie of the Year. I don't know. Gary Busey's in there. He's just his normal psycho self. Henry Rowan Gardner. The whole story is this dude sucks at baseball, and then he breaks his arm, and then when he heals, he can throw the ball like 110 miles an hour, and suddenly he's the greatest pitcher on earth. So. Is that the dude from American Pie? Wait, hold up. Let me go back. Is that the same guy? Have I not known this? Who is that dude? Is that the same guy? It can't be. Holy shit! How did I not ever realize that? Not a ton of range. I remember. I don't know if where I grew up in Utah, like you have cattle call here. Do you remember seeing these like in the movie stores? And in Utah, if you had that, you would have to put like a piece of paper over it, and there would be like the title would be over it. I didn't know that. I love live side quests. Sorry, I'm out of my meds. I have to go do I forget what it is. I have to take I have to do a blood test. I don't know if anybody else with ADHD, I don't know if this is an Arizona thing. Everybody it's like Arizona does not want you to have medication if you're on ADHD. I have to pay it. I have to meet with a doctor once a month. I telehealth, and I have to pay for that doctor once a month. This last time, she's like, you have to go get your blood pressure checked, and then like once a year, I have to like go get all my levels checked. It sucks. Amy said, "True fans support teams, not winners." Good point. Tell that to Cam. He's a Rams fan. Swish said he's a priest, so White Sox. What's NARF? Narf. Narf. Is that like a White Sox thing? I don't know what that is. What's NARF? No blood test for you? Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, they make you go through hell here in Arizona to get your medication. And which is the worst. The worst part is they're like, "Hey, you know how you have this condition where you forget to do things always and you're not organized or prepared? We're going to have a telehealth meeting, and then here's a bunch of assignments for you to do that you're definitely going to forget. And then if you don't do these assignments, you can't have medication." It's a really fucked up situation. I think I need a caregiver. Maybe we'll take. I guess maybe that's Jen. Are you supposed to do that? Is that your job? I guess we haven't defined it. Is it your job to make sure I'm medicated? Are you here?
I can only do so much. You don't listen to me half the time, so I don't know.
All right. Well, we've got to drop a new contract. I think this needs to be your responsibility.
I'm probably gonna need a lot more compensation for that.
Fuck. All right, never mind. We don't have any more compensation. All right. Okay, yeah, there you go. Bamarar. I have to do blood test, EKG, meet monthly, and monitor BP. Like I promise, it's not happening on time. Yeah, never. Never. I just looked. I was like, oh no, I'm out. And then I looked at my messages from my doctor, and she's like, I can't. This is like the fourth time now that you were supposed to do something and you didn't do it. I literally, like, I can lose my license if I keep giving you medication. So I got to go figure out how to get a blood test done. And I hate needles. So I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do here. This show just might go off the rails. Maybe we'll just change this show to like what happens when somebody with severe ADHD is unmedicated. We'll just let it go. That might be what you see today. Reminder: today is Friendly Friday. So if you've been waiting all week to say some shit and you're a friendly, the last hour of the show today, you're welcome to come up and have a discussion. You need to be a member of the Discord. So right now, go join the Discord. The mods are here. Just message in the chat that you want an invite to the Discord. Don't be like a dickbag either. Don't be a dickbag and join and ruin Friendly Friday. If you're not a friendly and you want to talk to me, you get to do that 5 days a week, just not the last hour of the show. So if you do want to talk, you want to debate something or clarify something, you're welcome to come up, but not in the last hour of the show.
I mean, hold on.
Yep.
If you join the Discord and you are a dickbag, I'm just gonna kick you out. So
I don't know. It might be worse to just let them have it. The Discord's feral. We haven't fed them for a long time. It might be time to drop a conservative in there. We haven't done that for a while.
I mean, let's just let things explode. You definitely need to get medicated.
Where's bad views? Drop bad views in there. All right. Let's jump right into it. We're doing a cult on the right. I've gone back and forth on this so many times of like, should we call it a cult? Should we not call it a cult? I've tried like kindness. I've tried empathy, understanding, and none of that worked either. So I just think that we got to just be honest. Just call a spade a spade. This kind of shit drives me nuts. This Josh Hawley clip that you're gonna see here, to me, it's so reminiscent of everybody that ever talked to me when I was Mormon, like any of my leaders. And I also think it's like, what's his name? Dr. Oz said something yesterday, like it's your patriotic duty to be healthy. I would just like to say, I don't give a fuck about patriotism. And I think it's a weird thing that we do where we tell people you need to sacrifice for your country. I don't think so. I don't think that that's that important, especially right now. Right? Like we're not at war. And it's even more it's even more odd to me when people start talking about sacrificing yourself for your religion. Like that's a lot of manipulation there. And what my church used to do is they're like, "Hey, if you're struggling with your faith, if you don't believe all these things that we're saying, if you don't believe that they're true, then do everything we say. And if you're happier after doing everything we say, then it's true." So then you do it, you do everything that they say, and then you're like, "Wait, I'm not happier." And they're like, "Ah, you must have missed something. You probably like masturbated or something, right?" Like, "I did do that." They're like, "Well, try again, but do it perfectly." And you're never going to do it perfectly. And so it's just like it's this cycle. I called it a guilt cycle. I don't know. There's probably some technical term for it, but it's that cycle of guilt where then the things that you're supposed to do, uh, they only make you happy because you feel so much guilt when you don't do them that when you do them, the guilt goes away, and so you're like, "Oh, this is actually happiness." It's not. It's adherence. I think this is bad advice. And I don't think we should prop people up like Josh Hawley for doing stuff like this.
Sacrifice is how you know it's real. And for men, I want to say, you know you're serious about it when you're willing to sacrifice. When it's costing you something, it is worth something. And we need to say to men, ultimately, our lives are meant to be a sacrifice. We're meant to lay down our lives on behalf of our wives, on behalf of our children, on behalf of our country, if need be. And putting your life onto that altar as a sacrifice, there is nothing more noble than that and nothing that mirrors the character of Christ Jesus than that.
Yeah, except for not sacrificing yourself and just being like a good human and taking care of your own mental health. Because you can't show up for other people if you can't show up for yourself. This is the worst fucking advice. This is when they say like men don't get any love. Like you see those, and I think maybe they're helpful, but you see those content creators that are like men's health advocates, and it's always like some pick me. It's like, "I'm here for the men. Nobody listens to men." It's because when men listen to men, other men tell them shit like this. "Hey, your life is literally like just meant to be a sacrifice. That's it. And you'll never be happy unless you just learn to sacrifice your life." You know how dumb that is? Like, would I sacrifice my life for my daughter? Absolutely. Do I want to? No. Should I if I don't have to? Uh-uh. It's far more important that your friends and your family and those around you have you present as your best version than it is that you're just like there but miserable. This is terrible advice. I don't know why. Like, there's other men watching it, and it just like it builds them back up. They're like, "Okay, that's right. Okay, I am unhappy, but I'm probably just not sacrificing enough." No, dude, take care of yourself. Go take a day, take a walk, play some video games, go play some golf. I'm speaking to the white men, obviously. I don't know what other people do. Do something that makes you happy. Don't lay yourself on an altar. This is the worst fucking advice, and this is cult shit. This is I'm Josh Hawley. I grew up in a cult. I'm currently in a cult. We can't explain, like, there's all these rules, there's all these people that we have to hate, there's all these things that we have to be afraid of. We have to think that like different economic theories are evil, and therefore my only solution is sacrifice. By the way, making a fortune. This guy is filthy rich. Easy to say from this position.
And that takes courage, it takes humility, it takes surrender. It reveals grace. And those are ultimately the greatest, most profound, most empowering concepts in all of our civilization.
And when the people in power are telling you that the most important thing is surrender, run. Just get the fuck out of there. If somebody's on stage in great makeup, by the way, the makeup artist did great here, run. If somebody tells you that surrender is important, get out of there. You got to go. Don't listen to that person. Do not surrender. Just live your fucking lives, please. This is why I hate religion. This is why sometimes I'm a little too harsh on the Christians. Maybe I'm a little too harsh on my rhetoric around Christians, but this is silly. This is silly shit. Don't do that. This is why it's so easy for Trump to stand up there and lie every day, because he goes after people like this. He goes after people who have leaders every Sunday stand up and tell them, "You're not doing enough. You're not sacrificing enough. What are you willing to sacrifice for the Lord?" And then they pass that collection plate around and you drop a little money in there and they go back to their mansion and you go back to your guilt. It's the most manipulative, like it's the worst pyramid scheme of all time. You get nothing. And at the end, you just die. And you just nothing happened. You just die. And that's it. And if that's not true, if there is a heaven, do you think you're going to get up there and God's going to be like, I saw that collection plate pass by and you didn't throw it in the collection plate? Why does God need money? Why? Somebody explain to me why Jesus and God need money. They can do anything. They could turn 2 fish and 2 loaves of bread into enough to feed 1,000 people. I don't remember how many people were there. Let's call it 1,000. Why is somebody who's in control of everything, who everything is predetermined, everything is their will, what do they need money for? This is a sickness that our country has, and this is what has allowed us to become so divided. Because what we'll show throughout the show today is they take this part of it, and then they bring in like politics to their religion. They're like, we've already got these people controlled. We already know that they're feeling guilty. Bring the politics in. Now we get to control it on all levels. And what it's allowed specifically Republicans to do is it's allowed them to bring people into the fold, claim that it's about freedom of religion, claim that it's about protecting your rights to your religion and your beliefs, and then they just milk you for all your money and give tax cuts to their billionaire friends. And they're all sitting there laughing. None of these people are Christian. They're not like real Christian. They just sit up there and they use your Christianity against you so they can make money. They get you to hate people so that you sit here and you talk about immigrants and trans people every fucking day, and you ignore the fact that they are robbing you blind and that the president of the United States has no fucking clue what he's doing. And they just hire sycophant after sycophant after sycophant. And this is why the title of today's live is that Trump is wearing his supporters out. When I go around now, like, there was a lot of energy from Trump supporters when he wasn't in office because they didn't have to defend anything that he did. And now they do. And by God, they are worn the fuck out. 110 days in, they are worn out.
And of course, we've touched on it, but that is a...
Hey, Nelson, kiss my ass. How about that? I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry you can't stand me. I'm sorry. This is the problem. Why can't you stand me? What are you mad at me for? Is anything I'm saying untrue here? Trump 2028. You got nothing to say. By the way, Republicans, you're always welcome to come up here.
The heart of everything we're talking about, that men are called by God to be strong for others.
That's right.
Not for themselves,
That's right.
but for others. And that the idea of Jesus is the ultimate example of that, the self-sacrifice for others, which is really, it's so humbling. Again, I just think of my dad sacrificing for us. That gives you total moral authority. When you sacrifice for others, then they should shut up and do what you say.
Sacrifice.
What? When you sacrifice for others, you get power now. What a weird fucking thing to say. But that's really what they think, and that's what like the Trump supporters keep saying about Trump. He sacrificed everything. Everybody's criticizing him. No, he didn't. His business was failing. He was deeply in debt. He went to Washington and got all his money back, and he's bilking you guys for millions of dollars every single day. And he gets to do it because he claims that like I sacrificed, so now I have moral authority. They gave the game away right there. Let's play that last bit one more time. That's an insane thing to say to any human being. And again, that's maybe my biggest problem with religion, is that when somebody says something behind the guise of their beliefs, nobody's like, that's crazy. But if you take away the beliefs, let's just pretend that he's not talking about Jesus. Let's pretend he's talking about Zorp, the lizard god. Just pretend he says Zorp the lizard god. Change it out. Zorp the lizard god, not Jesus.
So humbling again, I just think of my dad sacrificing for us. That gives you total moral authority. When you sacrifice for others, then they should shut up and do what you say.
And that's what you guys are doing. That's what the Trump people here are doing. You just shut up and you do what they say. And you come onto our live and you scream about it, but mostly you just shut the fuck up and you follow orders. Because you give people the moral authority over you because of this perceived sacrifice. There's a weird thing going on with my computer. It's weird. It's weird. This is just cult shit. I understand that they weren't specifically talking about Trump there. Um, Here's somebody who is. And this is I'm showing this because this is how you wind up being manipulated. This is why, like, for me, I get very frustrated. I think for the people on my side of the aisle, we get very frustrated when we can't live in reality with you folks. When we can't talk about like we can't even agree on what facts are. We had a guest yesterday. We eventually just had to go. Like, we couldn't agree on things that are obviously true. And because that sheds a bad light on Donald Trump, we can't get there. Here's Larry Kudlow sitting next to what's his name again? Newt Gingrich. Listen to what he says about Trump right now. Well, this was a couple days ago.
One of the things I love the most about Mr. Trump, he's putting religion back into play. He's putting God back into play. He just had his National Day of Prayer. There's a whole religious revival going on, which I think is authentically being sponsored by President Trump. I just love that. Last word to you.
Yeah, so God's all powerful, can do anything, but apparently he needs Donald Trump. Do you see how how these people co-opt God in order to get you to follow them? He had a National Day of Prayer. Who the fuck cares? If that's all it takes is a bunch of people standing around singing a song for you to follow blindly, of course they're going to do it. Why wouldn't they do it? This is why I think it's a little bit culty. Because as soon as we get into the meat of the show today and we start talking about real issues, it's going to become very apparent to anybody who isn't in the cult that this is a goddamn shit show. And all you guys can say is trust the plan, trust the process. He knows what he's doing. This is what we voted for. We love Trump, Trump 2028. When you are confronted with information that you don't like, it's back to devotion. I must show my loyalty harder, much harder. Whenever I'm confronted, I'm going to show my loyalty harder. And it's coming from a cult. Let me tell you, this is what we were taught. This is what cults teach people. So when I was out trying to recruit for the cult, what they would tell you is when you got to a point in a conversation where you were stuck, where either you didn't have the answer or the person you were talking to you was just like, I don't know if I agree with that. Wherever it was, if you ever got stuck, I want to see if the Christians have this too. Christians, if you come from a church that proselytes, what do you do when you're stuck? When you're talking to somebody, either recruiting, proselytizing, or in a discussion, or you have a child or a friend who doesn't want to believe what you believe, or they're struggling with their belief, what do you do when you're stuck? I want to see what the Christians say. I want to see if this goes across the board. I can never fall for something like that. I have faith. Yeah, close. Hey, Malta is Tex on Twitter. Block Tex. Tex gets to fuck off. Tex is the only one that's getting blocked. Religions are cults, though, Tex. All religions are cults. Yes, pray together or testify, right? Outwardly show your devotion. So for us, we would say, I know this doesn't make sense to you, but because of my lived experience, I know that Jesus Christ died for me. And I know that families can be together forever. And it is my faith that brings me this joy. And God requires us to have faith. We have to believe in things that we can't see. You testify. Another word for that would be manipulate. Another word for that would be sell. Another word for that might be convincing. It's just being a charlatan. When you're at a car lot and you're buying a car and you get stuck on the price, and then you get that salesman be like, well, what would it take you to get in there today? Look, I know that it's expensive now, but like rates are only going up. This is the time to buy. A month from now, it's not going to be cheap. It's only going to get more expensive. It's just manipulation. All of this is manipulation. You should not, if you are religious, I just want to be very clear. If you are a religious person, you are more prone to be manipulated, specifically with your feelings and specifically with things that, like ways people live that are outside of your religious beliefs. It is far easier to manipulate you. That's why you see like people get into work situations or relationships, or they allow like parents to treat them poorly. It's because you're just used to believing things without evidence. You're used to being manipulated. You're used to guilt. You're used to guilt trips. It's become part of your life. So that's the type of communication that resonates with you. That's why you see the right currently not talking about anything that Trump's doing. They're talking a lot about faith. A lot about faith. They're going back to history. We're going to have Victory Day. They're like, oh, now I'll get to it in a minute. Now we're like, oh, we're going to take trans people out of the military. This is all just a way to distract you and take your beliefs and your feelings and get you to double down on your support, even when things aren't going the way that you think they should be going. That's what all of this is. It's a psyop. It's a cult. It's manipulation. And that's why you guys get mad. That's why you don't have answers to this. And that's why it doesn't bother me when you say that. I see it for what it is. When I was in the cult and people told me, I would just say things like, you'll see. Yeah, you're just a hater. You just hate what we're doing because you know that what we're saying is true. You know this is the right way. You just hate religion. You hate Jesus. You hate Mormons. Whatever it is. I said all the same shit you guys said. When I worked for the Republican Party, and people would argue with us about specifically gay marriage. That was the hot topic. That's what I would just say. I was like, you just hate Christians. You don't really care about gay people. You just hate Christians. You just want us to lose. You just want this country to be atheist. Turns out I do want to, I would much rather our country be atheist. But that's I want to go through that today while we watch this entire show. I want to go through. God, why does this do this? I want to show every time we show a clip from Trump people. I would just ask yourself the question: are they telling me something true, or are they telling me what they believe? And it's almost always what they believe. It's almost always as a way to dodge a question. This is the owner of Cuts. I feel like Cuts used to be something else. I'm not sure. It's a DTC, direct to consumer clothing company. Even just this, like he's on CNN, and his business is affected by tariffs. So CNN brings him on, obviously, because it's good for CNN to bring a pro-Trump person on and talk about how the tariffs affect them. But even just the way that like the people have to talk to Trump and the way that they have to glaze him is alarming to me. It brings up all the red flags for me of all the deconstruction I've done and don't get in a cult again. These are all the red flags. Also, John the Fourth said to get the $2 train started. Happy Friendly Friday. Amy said Trump's a man of God after getting his ear pierced. Johnny said I'm deconstructing my military cult indoctrination. Yes, the military. Good Lord, the military is indoctrination. I do see Trump, the weak little bitch, caved to China, and they haven't talked yet. True fan support. Well, got that one. I want to go back to what Johnny said though, because I was thinking about this with some of the people that Trump puts in his cabinet. He likes the look of military, but I think more than anything, he likes that he's putting people in power that have been conditioned their entire career to take orders. God bless you if you served in the military. God bless you if you loved your military service. Don't try and tell us that your military service taught you to be an independent thinker, though. You can be an independent thinker and be in the military, but that takes work. That takes effort. That takes understanding that that you take orders when it's time to take orders, but when it's not time to take orders, you can think independently. That's real difficult. Shout out to anybody who has served in the military who is an independent thinker. You've done great work. That's not an easy thing to do. So I hope all of you that have served in the military consider yourself independent thinkers, but I would analyze it a little bit, because if you spent a career in the military, you went to work every day conditioned to take orders, conditioned to not ask questions. You go on missions, you go to war, and you don't ask questions. You just trust that the military leaders who are sending you there are doing it for the right purposes and that they will keep you safe. And yes, that might make a military good. That might make a military really strong. That might make the military more cohesive. That might be the right way to run a military. But I do think the military, on the way out of the military, there should be some sort of deconstruction. Like, all right, now that you're out, here's what you need to be aware of. You need to be aware that for 30 years, we've conditioned you to believe things without evidence. We've conditioned you to take orders. We've conditioned you to think that anybody wearing your uniform is your friend. And now that you're not there anymore, you need to understand that there's a real world out there. And they will take advantage of how you've been conditioned. Trump is just taking advantage of your conditioning, folks. Anyways, here's the Cuts owner.
He's known to watch cable news. His folks certainly text me when we air something they don't like. Why don't you just give a message to him and maybe he'll see it? What do you want to say to him?
President Trump, as a longtime supporter of your mission and to make America great again, I want to be a part of that with you. But e-commerce companies all across the United States, we need more time. Give us a 90-day off-ramp to get off of our China goods and just tell us the plan. If you tell us the plan, we can operate and we can know what to do. The hard part about everything that's happening right now is we're trying to manage our business from day to day, and that's very difficult. And a lot of small businesses, they don't have the cash flow to get through a 90-day negotiation, and it's going to devastate a lot of businesses like Cuts. You know, I'm in a group chat with $1 billion worth of small businesses, and there's several in there that are telling me, hey, Stephen, 30 days or 60 days, we might not be able to make it. There's been too many adjustments to the supply chain that are just being really devastating on our business. 145% is essentially an embargo, and by cutting off our products to be able to sell them, it's going to be really difficult. So we're with you. We want to be a part of your mission to make America great again, but we just need more time.
He's fucking over his own supporters. He's wearing them out. All right, I don't know who that little whiny McGee is there. What do I call Antifa? I call them Antifa. Why are you asking that question 50 times and having a full-blown meltdown? But I also want to point out that what I said earlier, and I don't know if you guys can listen. Remember how I told you guys, like, what this type of cult conditioning does is that when you're presented with information that is uncomfortable for you, you just say things like, here are my beliefs, or you deflect to something else. That's what is that not what every Trump supporter is doing in the chat right now? God bless Trump. What about Antifa? What about Joe Biden? What about the Democrats? This is that type of conditioning. Is when things are uncomfortable for you, you don't address what's uncomfortable. You deflect. You just try and move the conversation somewhere else. That's cowardice. If you engage, and this happens on both sides, and I'll say this. If you engage in whataboutism, the truth is you don't want to answer that question. And sometimes I think there's a good reason to engage in whataboutism. It's not always wrong. Like if you're talking about something and somebody asks you an unrelated question and you want to stay on topic and you go back to that topic or a different part of that topic, I think that's fine. But this type of shit, where you're uncomfortable here and you're like, what about Antifa? Trump is gaining supporters. Trump is the best. Trump 2028. God bless Trump. You're just doing the thing I said you were going to do. That's weird, right? I just told you what you would do and then you did it. He doesn't know. Then just do it. Here we go. Let's see. I forgot to pull up my PayPal and Cash App there. Sorry about that. Why is this not working? Danny said somebody said $2 train. Betsy said happy Friday. Thanks, Betsy. Pope is a registered Republican and anti-gay. Maybe, I don't know. I could give a fuck about the Pope. Listen, I don't care that the Pope is American. I care that some Catholics who feel like conservatism is not in line with their ideology. I'm happy for those Catholics who have a Pope that isn't just like a right-wing bigot. Maybe he is, but I don't know. Alyssa said, happy Friday, friends. Let's get the gift goal knocked out quickly. Thank you, Alyssa. That is nice. Jumar said, I sacrifice for you. Now get on your knees, peasant. And Sherry said, Dollar Train. Thank you very much for that. What's this, Brett? There we Now I've got it. Now I've got more questions for you. I get screamed at by you Republicans when we talk about taxing the rich. I wonder what you're going to say to this. The White House is making a last-ditch push to raise taxes on the wealthiest Americans as part of President's big, beautiful bill, which is so stupid. BBB. As Republican lawmakers craft the final details for the tax package, the proposal, according to 3 sources, would allow the top marginal income tax rate cut that Trump signed into law in 2017 to expire at the end of the year for the highest income Americans, meaning that rate would rise from 37 to 39.6%, while Republicans would extend the tax cuts for lower tax brackets. Oh, that's weird. The same people, they argue with me every day that we shouldn't raise taxes on the wealthy. What are we going to do with this now? Now what do we do? I know what you're going to do. You're just going to go with it because you didn't believe any of that shit. You never do. You're just going to go with it. None of you are going to go online today and make a post about how Trump is raising taxes on the rich or suggesting raising taxes on the rich. Not one of you will. You will turn your head the other way. You will pretend that you didn't argue with liberals that we should raise taxes on the rich, and you'll just fucking ignore it. It's just right back on the shelf. That's okay. I love Trump. In fact, what you'll probably do is you'll be like, "What now, libs? What now, libs? He's doing what you said he should do." Yeah, but you argued that he shouldn't. So now what do we do? One of the sources said the president had made the policy request as recently as Wednesday. Punchbowl News reported Thursday that Trump asked Speaker Mike Johnson directly to back the policy. Johnson did not respond to a question from the Hill about the tax rate when he left the Capitol on Thursday. Republicans had previously said the option of a new millionaire's tax was on the table as they crafted the bill, shocking and prompting swift pushback from many conservatives who had advocated for decades to make refusing to raise taxes party orthodoxy, which it has been. You've all been saying that. Why don't we do a flat tax? We should have no tax. Let's replace taxes with tariffs. And we're like, could we just tax rich people a little bit more? No. If we tax the rich more, the jobs are going to flee. Uh-oh. Now what? Well, now we're going to tax the rich more, or the jobs going to flee? Is everybody going to go to a different country now? Are people going to get paid less? Is that going to lead to more jobs? Less jobs? Now what do we do? Now what do we do here? You've spent the first 100 days arguing, and all of Trump's campaign, we will not raise taxes on the rich. That is a bad policy move. Dems just want to tax the rich. You guys are just jealous that they're rich and you're not. Now what? Now what's the answer? Trump 2028. That's the answer. We love him. We love him so very much. Trump, 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 Trump. Get it the fuck together, folks. The reality is good ideas are good ideas. Math is math. Trump can't pay for his tax cut. Trump is fucking over the middle class with tariffs. And the reality is that that's getting back to him. And his own advisors are telling him, dude, this isn't working. And so he's got to go back on it. And lucky for him, he's got the dumbest fucking base, political base that has ever existed on Earth. And so you guys will just... That's okay. We're just moving on. I'm just saying be better. I don't care who you support, but be better. And don't allow yourself to be in a cult. Don't allow yourself to get manipulated like this. If you truly believe we should not tax rich people more, then I expect you guys to go out there and talk about how Trump is going back on his promise that he made that he wouldn't increase taxes. Because he said he's cutting taxes for everybody. So it looks like he's trying to go back on that promise. And I just expect all of you guys to be very upset about this. Good Lord, if that was Joe Biden, you guys would be in the fucking streets. You'd be in the fucking streets. Amy Lynn said, Trump's a Democrat planted into the Republican Party to destroy them. We planted him. Photo said, all these attackers, WJ for spreading truth. Photo Dia said, Jody said, TGIF, have a great and safe weekend, everyone. Jen said, proud member of Antifa. And said, peace always just wants attention. I know. I think that's mostly that's what Tex is too. Tex is just a miserable fucking human who wants attention. And when he doesn't get attention, he just starts being really racist because he doesn't know how to get attention in like healthy ways. Brennan said, praise Zorp. Steve said Trump's the poster boy for the 7 deadly sins. He's out there showing everybody. Amanda joined the $2 train. I got that one as well. Thanks, guys. I appreciate knocking that out. I'll update the goal here in a minute. Detroit's not happy with Trump. Detroit automakers are taking aim at Trump for the UK deal. If you guys don't know about Trump's UK deal, one, it doesn't exist yet, and two, he basically just like cut a deal so we could have some like less taxes on luxury cars. We'll get to the glazing later. If you saw what Trump did yesterday with the UK, they didn't even send Starmer. They just like sent a representative. Like they don't give a fuck, and Trump got nothing. Now you don't have to pay as high a tariff on Rolls Royces and Land Rovers. And am I wrong about this? Jen, will you look this up? If I remember correctly, I think it's Land Rover that has a really big problem. Like they're too easy to steal. So like in the UK, people couldn't even insure them because they were so easy to steal. Will you look that up and see if you can find anything on that? Detroit's car makers took aim Thursday at the Trump trade pact with the UK, saying a deal with Canada and Mexico should have been prioritized. Under this deal, it will now be cheaper to import a UK vehicle with very little U.S. content than a USMCA-compliant vehicle from Mexico or Canada that is half American parts. This hurts American automakers, suppliers, and auto workers. The U.S.-UK deal reduced a 25% tariff on all imported cars to 10% for the first 100,000 made in the UK. Did we win? We dropped our tariff from 25% to 10%. This master negotiator. That includes Jaguar, Land Rover, and Aston Martin. We hope this preferential access for UK vehicles over North American ones does not set a precedent for future negotiations with Asian and European competitors. Now, look, I'm cool with this. I think dropping that tariff is fine. I have no problem with that. No matter what Trump does, they complain. No matter what Trump does, you suck his dick. How's this America first? American auto manufacturers are like, excuse us, you said we came first. You said America first. What is this? You guys are like, America first means more European autos. Get it together, guys. He can't keep everyone happy. Only the deep throaters. He can't do shit. He's too stupid. He can't run a country. He can't negotiate deals. He just got his ass kicked by Europe because his trade deal and his leverage wasn't what he thought it was. And you guys show up. This isn't fair. You guys are too mean to him. Deal with it. Just listen to what we say. Why the fuck do you care if we're mean to Trump? Is he your best friend? Is he your dad? Toughen up. This is Americans. This is American manufacturing. How do you think these people that are investing in American manufacturing now, they look at this and they're like, well, is he just going to sell us out whenever? Like, we supported these tariffs because he promised us it would be better for us. And then at the first sign, of pushback, he's just like, never mind. Never mind. They're mad, dude. How would you feel if you were them? I'd be mad. They want to sell as many cars as they possibly can. He told them that we're gonna force Americans to buy American, and then he just folds immediately. He's gonna fold with Japan too. He's gonna fold with South Korea too. He's gonna fold on all of these. The only place he may not fold is China, and he might fold on China. We might get those BYDs we've been wanting. He might at this rate, we might wind up with like incredibly lopsided trade deals that hurt Americans. That's how bad he is at this. He's gonna hurt Americans by trying to help Americans because he's stupid. He's not an intelligent human being. He loves calling other people low IQ. He's got an IQ under 100. There's no question about that. He can barely read. He's borderline illiterate, and that's been confirmed by multiple people who work with him. You can watch the video of him like reading a letter that he's supposed to read out loud. He has to have somebody else read it. He won't read his own executive orders. He's not an intelligent person. He just has a lot of confidence. And if you don't know what he's talking about and you see his confidence, you buy in. And then that's what they tell you. Just trust the process. Just trust him. Here's what Japan's saying. This is why Trump's going to lose to Japan, too. Japanese automaker Toyota said President Trump's tariffs would cost the company, come on, ads. Would cost the company $1.3 billion in just 2 months. Toyota highlighted the levies hit to profits at a press briefing on Thursday on its fiscal year, which ended March 31st, 2025. The company said during the briefing that it expects the tariffs to cost it $1.3 billion in April and May alone. The Trump administration in March imposed a 25% tariff on the roughly 8 million vehicles assembled abroad that the U.S. imports annually. The car maker stopped short of making predictions on future tariffs hits on businesses, with CEO Koji Sato saying that any future impact would be difficult to forecast. He's going to back down to Japan, too. He already did. He's going to lose to Japan. He's going to lose to South Korea. He lost to Canada. He lost to Mexico. He lost to the UK. And you guys are like still sitting here saying he won. David said, don't forget the UK dropped their main tariff by 3%. We dropped ours by 15%. That's a good point. How about the UK said, how about this? How about instead of we drop it the same, we'll drop ours 3%, you drop yours 15%. Well, I don't want to. Well, you're fucked. Okay, I'll do it. Mary said, go, Jay, go. Thank you. Appreciate that. And then you see this. Look at this. Layoffs in the country. This is what I'm telling you. He's going to wear you guys out, and we're going to wear you guys the fuck out too, because we're going to keep showing you this every day. And I'm just telling you, when people start losing money, when people start losing their jobs, when people can't afford stuff, you saying Trump 2028, you saying trust Trump, you saying we won, get over it, you saying crybaby, that's not going to work. You're going to have to come up with something to say. You're going to have to come up with some way to explain this. This is since Trump took office. These are cumulative job cut announcements over the last 6 months. These are in the thousands. So we're like 700,000 right now. U.S. employers announced 105,000 job cuts in April, the highest for any April in 5 years. Excluding 2020, this was the highest count for any April since 2009. What do those two dates have in common? COVID and a world economic meltdown, and April 2009, which was on the tail end of the 2008 financial crisis. He just jumps in, starts a trade. And by the way, we didn't have to do this. He didn't have to start a trade war. He didn't have to do any of this shit. He just did it because he's stupid. Let's see. Over the last 6 months, there have been nearly 700,000 job cuts, the most since the 2020 pandemic. Job cuts have been particularly high in the government sector, followed by retail and technology. DOGE actions, market economic conditions, and restructuring have been major drivers of layoffs. U.S. layoffs are at recession levels. I remember when Mitt Romney said he would drive us into a recession. You guys, and I'll just say it again. You guys are weirdly lucky politically that COVID happened, because the recession was coming. He was driving us into a recession. Most economists in 2019 were like, here it comes. And then COVID hit. And so he was able to blame COVID instead of the shit he did. But go back. If you're honest, go back and look at the economists predicting a recession. And COVID hit. And then we had stimulus spending. And that stimulus spending was going to cause massive inflation because we were on the edge of a recession. And so that stimulus spending, it was just going to inflate. It was going to cause inflation. There was no other option, though, unless you just wanted people to die. That's why Trump and Biden both offered stimulus money, because that was the option we were left with. We've done 50 years of trickle-down economics, and this is what we're left with. We are consistently on the verge of a recession. Because we're just borrowing from Peter to pay Paul over and over and over again. And Republicans get us there quicker, and it's happening more quickly now with Republicans because the debt went up. Initially, like when Ronald Reagan did it, you saw like, one, you saw wealth inequality, but two, you saw like deficit spending. And the longer this has gone on, and we've make no bones about it, Ronald Reagan introduced trickle-down economics, and every president since then has done trickle-down economics. We have not taxed rich people at the rate that they should be taxed in order for the economy to operate properly. It is a failed experiment. And I don't know, like I didn't want it to end this way. I don't really want it to go this way. But at the end of this, after we go through this, and you see that during this recession, the rich will get massively richer. We basically are going to have two options. We're going to have the option of just accepting an oligarchy and saying this is our life now, or we're going to say fuck the rich and we're going to tax the shit out of them, and we're gonna give your kids free education. We're gonna give your kids health care. Your kids are gonna be able to go to college. Your kids are gonna be able to go to trade school. There will be lunch provided for poor people. You'll have easier access to internet. There are a lot of things that can change, and we're either going oligarchy or we're going to like a more Nordic model. And I think most of you, even on the Trump side, are going to say, I'd rather do the Nordic model than the Russian model. Amy Lynn said, Trump got 177 new jobs, but look at those jobs. They're not good, high paying. He almost cut as many good paying jobs. That's true. Yeah, those government jobs that we cut, those are good jobs. And that money goes back into the economy. It recirculates. I think Republicans have a very narrow view of cutting those jobs. When Doge came in and they started cutting federal workers, you guys all looked at it as savings. But it's not savings, because what you don't understand is the impact that comes from, in a lot of those places, the government is one of the top employers. I think it was Oklahoma City. Is it Oklahoma City where the government was like the #1 employer? That kills your economy. That means people don't have money to spend locally. So local restaurants, local grocery stores, local clothing providers, gas stations, you name it, they're all going to get less revenue too. So you think you're saving money, and I like on a bottom line you are, but you have to think of the implications, and the implications are that he's going to drive us into a recession. And I think you could make a good argument. I don't know that I agree with this yet, but I think you could make a good argument that Trump is doing this on purpose, that he's tanking the economy on purpose for his friends, because they want to be oligarchs. And the reason I say that you can make a good argument for that is all of his friends have said publicly that they want to tank the economy, get rid of the Constitution, and become oligarchs. So that's why I think it's a fair assumption to make. Like that's Andreessen wants to do that. Peter Thiel wants to do that. Elon Musk wants to do that. All these people that have his ear, that's what they want. They want their own little kingdoms. And you guys are just the bootlickers. Like, yeah, give them their own kingdoms. I'll skip that one. Meanwhile, speaking of cuts, here's the Trump budget. We're going to cut from state and international programs. So we're going to cut a lot of money for poor people. We're going to cut a lot of money for poor people here. Look at this. Poor people, poor people, poor people, poor. This is going to affect poor people, farmers, poor people, poor people. Now we got the Treasury. That's protection. Commerce. We're going to cut protection against for you guys in commerce. Energy. Oh, we're going to increase for energy. Okay, gotcha. So we're going to give more money to the richest people that produce energy. Transportation, auto manufacturing, we can give them more money. The VA, glad to see that. A little more funding for the VA. Department of Homeland Security, $42 extra billion. And the Pentagon, $113 billion. So we've got to increase our spending so that we can go blow up children across the world and fight wars all over the world. We got to increase money so that we can go and we can do these ICE raids and round up immigrants while we pull out of the workforce. But poor people get fucked. To be clear, you guys don't ever get to talk about Trump caring about the poor or the middle class. Where's the middle class spending here? Just out of curiosity. Where's the stuff here that's going to help you? The VA isn't middle class. DHS isn't going to help the middle class. Pentagon's not going to help the middle class. Energy's not going to help the middle class. These are subsidies. These are so the energy companies can make more money. It's not like we're giving $1 billion to bring down gas prices. These are subsidies. Where in this budget is the help for the middle class or for the poor or for the children? All you blue collar workers who showed up for him. Where is it? You get a drink. I'm going to read the chat for a second while I get a drink. Where's the focus on you? I do have a clue what I'm looking at talking about, Robin, but if you want to come educate me, come on up. All you have to do is message Jen on Discord, JenDub1, and you can come on up.
We've got new subscribers.
Thank you for the new subscribers. DeAndrell said, Trump asked China to open the market to the USA. Yeah, please. This is going bad, please. That was good timing. Tim said, I love your MAGA voice. Thank you.
We've got a new subscriber.
Amy says, appreciate your stamina. That's not a compliment I get a lot. Thank you. You consistently go longer and come on. Come on. Sorry. I appreciate your stamina. You consistently go longer and harder than any mainstream source, penetrating deep into the murky holes of disinformation and absolutely wrecking the right with raw, unfiltered truth. Don't stop. We need it rough. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. All right. Let me go to the next one. All right. Here's what the Republicans in the Senate have to say about Trump's bill, by the way.
Arguing over, additional tax provisions and getting down to a reasonable pre-pandemic spending level, but that's not the path we chose. So I think the sooner we acknowledge the fact that this current effort is doomed to fail. I'm sorry. I've got to disagree with the president on this. It's doomed to fail. I'm not going to vote for it. I know a number of senators who will not even come. We're not even contemplating. This is not a start. Right now, as it's being written, we would actually increase the deficit.
Yeah.
I don't think many people realize that we would actually increase the deficit. That's a complete non-starter. So no, we're not even close.
It's not Memorial Day.
Republicans in the Senate, they're just done.
Arguing
That's what I'm telling you.
over-
He's wearing the people out. He's wearing the Republicans out, and he's doing it with stupidity. I thought maybe at some point like his antics would wear them out, and clearly it didn't. That's like what fuels Republicans. They love the cruelty. But he's wearing everybody else out because they're like, bro, can you do math? Does anybody around you have a fucking calculator? Could one of you guys just sit down and explain to him how numbers work? Because none of this makes any sense. The government is spending way too much. We're going to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. And we are going to, he said he was going to get rid of the national debt with tariffs. And we're 110 days in, and Republicans in the Senate are like, bro, you're a fucking idiot, man. What are you doing? $5 trillion? You want to add $5 trillion? You said you were going to pay it down. We had your back. We all went out there and we licked your ass for 2 straight years while you campaigned. We told everybody, don't worry that he's a criminal. It's not his fault. And then you show up here and you break everything. And then you come to us and you're like, sorry, I broke your country. I'm going to need to increase that debt by $5 trillion, please. And they're like, nah, not the House. The House is all in. The House is like, yeah. This is totally a good idea. Let's do this. But the Senate is like, dude, come on, man. We're senators. There's 2 of us in the state. We can't go home to our state and be like, just like we promised, we are deficit hawks. We're going to cut the spending. I have a question. Did you increase spending by $5 trillion? We did. We did increase spending by $5 trillion. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Let's go to the White House. Hey.
Okay. Let's figure out do announcements while you update the gift goal.
Thank you.
So it is Friendly Friday. Appreciate everybody who's helped put a dent in the gift goal. It helps us out a lot.
It's a little bigger than a dent, I'd say. We're early on this.
I know. It's like I can't give too much praise.
It's true.
Oh.
Which reminds me, while Jen is speaking, everybody in the chat compliment Jen. Thank you. Go ahead, Jen.
Is this? Do we need to talk about how you have a praise kink again?
A what? A praise kink?
Yeah.
No, you do. It was for you.
No.
Oh, I know what you're saying. Never mind.
Anyways, if you haven't subscribed to us yet on Twitch, please do so. You can use an Amazon Prime sub and use Jeff Bezos' money. Also subscribe to us on YouTube. We've got 4 different memberships over there. If you'd like to help support us that way. If you disagree with Jay and would like to talk to him real time during the show, how you do that is you can add me on Discord. My Discord username is the same as the Venmo. So you can DM me on Discord, Jen, JENN Dub, DBB, the number 1. And I can bring you on to talk to Jay in real time. And so we got till we usually start Friendly Friday about an hour before the end of the show, and we typically end around 1 o'clock. So we've got about, what are my numbers? My brain is mush today.
Nice.
So it's what, an hour and a half left till Friendly Friday, probably.
Yeah.
So yeah. So check out our link here for our other socials and merch, and like I said, DM me on Discord if you want to talk to Jay in real time. I can bring you on. Hour and a half left to knock out the remaining balance of the gift goal. And let's see.
Oh man, these messages in the chat are really good.
I'm reading them.
Except for the
What do you call
Republicans
a
playing
man?
whataboutism. Oh, sorry, Jen.
Sure. What do you call a man with a rubber toe?
I don't know.
Roberto.
Yes. Yes. I love that one. Oh, you did it. We waited for Friday for a good one. Amy said, breaking judge orders immediate release of Tufts grad student that they kidnapped. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, somebody said, I thought somebody said muted. I will thank you guys all for complimenting Jen. Did you notice, though, while Jen was talking, did you notice the meltdown by the Republicans in the chat? Every president has increased the debt. Why are you bringing up that because yours is the one that said he was going to get rid of it, dummies. That you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, he's going to eliminate the debt through the whole fucking campaign. And then when he shows up, he's like, instead of eliminating the debt, I'm going to increase it faster than any other president in history. And you're like, yeah, well, they did it, so he gets to do it too. That's why we say you're in a goddamn fucking cult. Because you don't care about anything but Donald Trump. If you weren't in a cult, you would address that. If you weren't in a cult, you might say something like, you know what, I do support some of his policies, but this is stupid. He did promise that he was going to eliminate the debt, so I don't support that. But instead, you're making excuses for him. You're in an abusive relationship. That's the truth. You are in a relationship with somebody who forces you to go out publicly and defend them. And for anybody who's been in an abusive relationship, that's what happens. An abusive relationship with a narcissist. They require you to go defend their bad behavior because they keep telling you, no, I really am. I am a good guy. Like, I've got a plan. He's just telling you, like, I've got a plan, guys. Okay, we'll just keep defending you blindly. Have some self-respect if you're a conservative. Just some. If your guy says that he's going to eliminate the debt and then turns around and says, I'm going to increase it faster than any president in history, and you still support it, you're just a cucky little bitch that's in a cult. How else? What's a different way to explain that? Explain to me how you all of a sudden switch. Explain how you were in here telling me like, oh, he's going to eliminate the deficit. He's going to eliminate income tax. He's going to use tariffs to eliminate income tax. No tax on tips. He's not doing any of that shit. And you're just not going to talk about it? Well, it's not fair to criticize him because other presidents also did things that I didn't like. No, you're cowards. You won't criticize him. And a little cucky. This guy forgets what Obama did. Goddamn, it's like you're like a machine. You're like a machine. You only think about what Obama. You don't even know what Trump does. I don't think any of you guys legitimately follow what Trump is doing. I think that every single day you wake up and think to yourself, how can I talk about Joe Biden? How can I talk about trans people? You guys are fucking weird. It's a weird way to live your life. You just wake up every day and you're like, I am going to talk about anything other than what this president is doing right now. I refuse to call balls and strikes on what this president is doing. So when he fails, I'm not even going to listen to it. I'm just going to turn the other way and I'm going to talk about Joe Biden and I'm going to talk about Obama. And I don't think a single solitary one of you who says that could come up here and tell me what Obama or Biden did. You're going to say some dumb shit like, open borders, which isn't even a thing. You can't open and close the border. Have you been there? Let me show you the border at my state. I need you guys to explain to me how you're going to close this border. This is in Nogales. Okay, this is the border in Nogales. If you go there, beautiful. Oh, shit. It went backwards. This is a fence in Nogales. This is the United States side. That's the Mexican side. I don't know if I can't make that. Maybe I can make it a little bigger. There we go. Get a close up. Jesus. Tell me how you're going to close this. How do you close a fence with barbed wire on it? What do you do? How do you close the border? How do you open the border? You can't open and close the border. That's just a thing that you guys say. You've just, and that's the programming. You've been conditioned to say open border. You've been conditioned to say make America great. You've been conditioned to say America first. You've just been conditioned to say a bunch of fucking taglines, but you have no clue what's going on. I don't think honestly, I've never had, since we started this show on YouTube, I've yet to have a single Republican come up here and accurately describe what Joe Biden did on the border. You guys just say open border. That's enough for you because you're in a cult, so you just trust the people that are talking to you. So you just say open border. It's a mess. Your party is a mess, you're a mess, your cult is a mess, and we're going to wear you the fuck down. Because 2 months from now, you're going to be saying the same dumb shit. Trump 2028. This is what I voted for. What about Joe Biden? And we're going to be throwing this in your face every single day. And I hope some of you learn your lesson that even if you vote for Republicans in the future, don't vote for dipshits. Vote for somebody who's not promising you the world that they could never deliver on. Vote for something more than owning the libs. Vote for something more than like, he talks shit. Vote for something substantive. And then we can have real conversations about like, is this working? Is this not working? But we're not allowed to have those conversations with Trump because if I say the word Trump, then none of you guys just all freak the fuck out. So Johnny actually sent me something, I think it was Johnny earlier today, that was like, it was somebody who said like, we shouldn't even mention Trump anymore. We should just say Republicans. I don't know if I agree with that or not. It's an interesting idea. But if we say it, you guys just panic. You got to just go and you just default into like pre-programmed responses. So a couple days ago, we had the head of FEMA, who again, I hate this stupid thing. It's a weird thing the Hill does. I have to press and hold that. His name is Cameron Hamilton. The reason that Cameron Hamilton was qualified to be the head of FEMA is because he served in the military, I guess. And Trump loves that. Trump just loves like the look of military people. But he got fired on Thursday. The day before, he was in front of Congress, and he simply said that he didn't believe it was in the public's interest to eliminate the agency. He didn't think it was in the public's best interest to get rid of federal disaster aid. Which is, again, you guys were talking about how FEMA, like Joe Biden didn't use FEMA like they should, and that they were stealing the funds from FEMA. And look at these people in North Carolina, these poor people in North Carolina that are waiting on FEMA funds. And now you're like, yeah, get rid of it. You should just get rid of FEMA altogether. And the acting administrator, once he gets in there, by the way, he was totally for eliminating FEMA until he became the administrator. And then he's like, no, we need this. So he just simply said in front of Congress, I do not believe it is in the best interest of the American people to eliminate the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And that alone was enough to get him fired. And that's enough to tell you that what we said about Trump was true. Project 2025 was true. He was going to put people at the top of agencies in order to get rid of them. Because we desperately need to cut taxes for rich people, and we desperately need to cut funding for poor people. It's very important. Let's see. Here he was in a podcast, I think before he was is this not it? Sorry, this is actually the clip of him saying it. Let me just show you the clip first, and then I'll go to the podcast.
As the senior advisor to the president on disasters and emergency management and to the Secretary of Homeland Security, I do not believe it is in the best interest of the American people to eliminate the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Okay. Having said that, I'm not in a position to make decisions and impact outcomes on whether or not a determination such as consequential as that should be made. That is a conversation that should be had between the President of the United States and this governing body on identifying the exact ways and methodologies in which what is prudent for federal investment and what is not.
And then instead of becoming a meeting with Congress and
As the
figuring
senior
out
advisor to
what to do with FEMA, they just fired him instead. I must have copied the
Thanks for the sub.
the wrong clip, because I just have the same clip there from the podcast, so I don't have that. Ed Martin was also not fired, but Ed Martin was going to be the U.S. attorney. He was Trump's nominee for the U.S. attorney, and he's a Nazi and a white nationalist and a racist and probably somebody that Tex looks up to. And because of that, there was enough people in the Republican Party, not many, but there were enough Republicans who said, we're not going to put an open Nazi as a U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia, that they had to pull that nomination. So naturally, Trump went to his next best choice, which is always a drunken Fox News host. I'm pleased to announce that Judge Jeanine Pirro will be appointed interim United States Attorney for the District of Columbia. Jeanine was the Assistant District Attorney for Westchester County and then went on to serve as a county judge and district attorney, where she was the first woman ever to be elected to those positions. During her time in office, Jeanine was a powerful crusader for victims of crime. Her establishment of the Domestic Violence Bureau in her prosecutor's office was the first in the nation. She excelled in all ways. I actually will say, like, looking over Judge Jeanine's record, she is qualified for this position. I do want to say, Ed Martin, not qualified. Judge Jeanine, qualified. My main problem is we've all seen Judge Jeanine, and she is a drunk. She's very clearly a drunk. And she's very clearly a hyper-partisan loyalist. And if this, and you guys aren't supposed to like hyper-partisan. You don't like that. You don't want to politicize these positions. That's what you kept telling us. I don't know if you could have a more politicized choice. Trump is putting people in place who will make sure not to prosecute him or his friends for the many crimes that they have committed and are currently committing. And Judge Jeanine probably got like a case of Franzia and said, head on over there. Now, Republicans are they're gonna frame this like she's sacrificing her career. Bullshit. Bullshit. There's no chance that Fox isn't going to pay her. There's no chance Fox isn't going to bring her back. This is an interim assignment. I would just say, I hope Fox does leave her off, because it's time that Winebox Jeanine get the fuck off the air. We don't need to hear from. Remember, she's the one that was like, I don't care if my 401k crashes. I'm all in for Trump. Nobody should care. ADF, thank you for the donation. Cam said, just here to helping run a train on Jay. I say we tear up sports teams when they go 30 plus years without winning a championship. I say, go fuck yourself, Cam. That's not nice. You don't need to pick on the 49ers. They didn't do anything to you. Here's the video of Fox announcing it.
Other headlines tonight breaking just minutes ago. One of the co-hosts of The Five, Judge Jeanine Pirro, will be appointed.
Did you notice that they used a picture that's like 20 years old of Judge Jeanine? Let's take a look at what Judge Jeanine actually looks like now. I do like this. Trump is obsessed with like how people look, which is why he has a bunch of like plastic fake pretty people as in positions of authority, even though they're dumb. This is what Judge Jeanine looks like now. I mean, that's not the same person. That's an unfortunate screen grab there. I didn't realize that was a video. Let me go back. We'll just look at newer pictures of her. Like, why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we doing old Botox plastic face here? Why were you this picture is got to be 20 years old. And they do that because they're not allowed to like post recent pictures. Trump needs all of his people to look pretty. And it works for you guys, by the way. When you put somebody that's good looking, like Pete Hegseth, MAGA doesn't realize that they're stupid. I've long said this, that remember when Alina Habba was like, I could either be pretty or stupid, and I can fake being, or pretty or smart, I can fake being smart. That's a real thing, especially with conservatives, especially with people who are like obsessed with the patriarchy, or who like they live in a patriarchal society where that matters. Like that does give people more credibility. If you see somebody brilliant that looks like different, just looks unique, maybe not that you find conventionally attractive, that person doesn't get as much play. People listen to them far less. But if you have somebody that you think looks good, and especially if you're a conservative, you're just going to believe them. I mean, every time I play a clip from Pam Bondi, all the Republicans in the chat are like, "She's hot." It's like, yeah, but fine if you think she's hot. I personally don't. I think she's went a little heavy on the Ozempic, but it works for them. So it doesn't matter that she's not qualified for the job, just like Judge Janine. But they got to throw that picture up there. Remember, she's pretty. She doesn't look like she was melted. Like she looks a little bit more like a figurine that like you left in a Phoenix car in the middle of the summer, and it didn't melt all the way, but like a little bit. It's still recognizable, but like, oh, that's uncomfortable. Remember I showed you guys yesterday Sean Duffy, who is the transportation secretary. Sean Duffy was out there saying that Pete Buttigieg fucked this whole thing up because he only spent $1 billion of the $5 billion that was allocated. And then Pete Buttigieg had to go on TV and be like, "Hey, Sean Duffy, this is how this works. You don't I can't just like drop $5 billion and fix it. It takes time, and you spend that money over time because you have contracts. And we're trying to fix an outdated system." This is Trump's first transportation secretary, Elaine Cho. She was on with I think it's Caitlin Collins, isn't it? Caitlin Collins she's with? Yeah, Caitlin Collins on CNN. I do appreciate that she's calling for partisanship. It's always a weird thing, though, to call for partisanship when you have a hyper-partisan like Sean Duffy as the transportation secretary has not taken accountability for anything but just blames the other administration. I do find that interesting with the MAGA folks. Like, if you want to call for an end to partisanship, maybe not all of your political appointees should go on TV every day and blame Joe Biden.
Very important first step.
Yeah, and the other aspect is getting Congress to approve all of this. I mean, and this didn't seem to be as maybe at the top of minds for everyone. House Republicans, including Sean Duffy, when you were the transportation secretary, voted against upgrades to the air traffic control system. It was a party line vote. They all voted against it. One thing that has happened as we've watched all this play out is a bit of a blame game. And, we've heard some people say it's President Biden's fault and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg's. They were in office for 4 years. Obviously, President Trump and you were there before. I wonder what you would say in terms of just, the state of where it is right now and who's responsible for that.
I think we should put the blame game aside. I mean, these are very important issues. The air traffic control system affects the economic vitality, the vibrancy of our economy. It affects productivity. So I think we should just come together as a country and gather the political will to make these changes. And that includes all sorts of changes, like we don't have enough air traffic controllers. It used to be prior to 2016, there were many sources of people who can come in as air traffic controllers. If they were part of the military, if they went to a college and they had training there, but no longer. And so given what's happened, there is a tremendous washout of people who just don't make the final cut. And out of thousands of applicants, 36 successful candidates emerge at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's
so small.
A highly skilled position.
Yeah, and so that was probably why it was a bad idea for this administration when they came into office to fire people who they assumed were DEI hires. She, who worked in the last Trump administration, and Pete Buttigieg, they had the same rules. It's difficult to become an air traffic controller. You can't just make anybody an air traffic controller. So when you fire people thinking you're going to replace them quickly, and then you have a bunch of other people quit because they don't want to work for a fucking racist, yeah, maybe we're going to have some problems. Maybe it's going to be hard to replace those people. I don't know. Do you guys forget that Trump fired people from the FAA? And many of those were air traffic controllers? Who did I see that? I saw somebody with my name. You can all pretend he isn't absolutely crushing it, but he's done all of these things in just the first 100 days. What's he done? Crashed the economy? Crashed the stock market? Alienated all of our trade partners? Violence across the world has accelerated? Fuck you, Dan. What has he done? He put people on the border. There's less illegal immigration. Honest to God, I don't fucking care about that. It is not it is not impactful on your life. In fact, it's probably hurting you. It's gonna cost you issues. I know that you guys get to see some brown people put in handcuffs, and that's exciting for you. And congratulations on your erection. But he's not getting shit done. But they did this. There's no question. I'm not willing to drop the partisanship on this one right now. You fired a bunch of FAA workers. You fired a bunch of air traffic controllers because you're racist. So when you saw a black person or a disabled person or a trans person or a woman, you fired them because you assumed they were a DEI hire, which maybe they were. But you can't be a DEI hire and also be unqualified. So first step, you don't know what DEI is. Second step, you fired people because you're racist and because you're stupid and don't know what DEI is. DEI expands your pool of applicants, and it still allows you, and you still choose the most qualified people. So you fired a bunch of people who went through that process that Elaine Cho just brought up, that out of the 400 people that enter, only 36 emerge. You have to meet qualifications. You just can't say that somebody's not qualified because of the color of their skin, because of their gender, because of their sexuality, because of a disability. You can't disqualify people for those reasons, which expands your pool of people that you can hire from. So you've shrunk the pool of people you can hire from, and you fired a bunch of people who made it through that process, and you're going to turn around and point the finger at somebody else? And Sean Duffy is even more involved. In 2019, the Democrats voted yes on the 100% of Democrats voted yes on the Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development and Related Agencies Appropriations Act. That's what would have funded updating the new FAA equipment, the new software, and the outdated technology that Sean Duffy is complaining about. Democrats voted 100%. Only 12 Republicans joined them in order to pass that bill. One of those people that did not join them was Sean Duffy. Sean Duffy at the time in 2019 was serving in the House, and he voted against it. So Sean Duffy voted against funding for the very thing he's complaining they didn't do. And then when he came into office with Trump, then they fired a bunch of people. The very jobs that they're trying to hire for now, they fired people, and they have the audacity to go on TV and blame somebody else, and you morons show up every day, yeah, it's your fault. How did you not see this coming? You should have protected yourself against dumbasses like Sean Duffy. You should have known Trump. And look, that's fair. That's a good argument, Republicans. We should have known how fucking stupid the people Trump appointed were going to be. And we should have known that people were going to vote for an idiot like Trump again. We should have learned our lesson. And we should have ran somebody besides Biden. We should have demanded that Biden step down after his first term and had an open primary. All that's true. We should have known. But you broke it. You guys broke this shit. You won't fund anything except for the military. You'll fund the shit out of military. You'll fund the shit out of billionaires, but you won't fund infrastructure. You won't fund health care. You won't fund taking care of children. You won't fund farmers. You won't fund food programs. All you'll fund is the stuff that blows up that you can see, wow, that was a really cool bomb. You're all toddlers. Just like, I want something exciting. Good politicians are boring as fuck. All the best politicians, all the best people in the Senate and the House, you've never heard of. They're behind the scenes. They're trying to get shit done. They're doing bipartisanship. They don't host a fucking podcast. They're not on CNN every night. They're not working one job while campaigning for another job. Everybody you see on TV is a dog shit politician. The good ones that are trying to get shit done, you never hear about them. But you keep giving power to the shitty ones. That's one thing. We got to fix that. We got to stop seeing our politicians as celebrities. You may have noticed on this program, I've stopped propping up Democratic politicians. It used to be every day I would show some clip of Jasmine Crockett. I don't really want to do that anymore. I don't want to prop these people up. I just want to. I'd much rather talk about ideas. And if you find me slipping and doing that, Republicans, I give you permission to remember this. Write this down. You have permission to say I'm glazing people, because I don't want to glaze politicians either. Let's see. Let's go to RFK. So RFK, speaking of idiots, the big news out of yesterday is that RFK, well, we have a new Surgeon General, and it's RFK's choice, and Trump met her once and just took RFK's word on it. We should not take RFK's word for anything. Every time he opens his mouth, he says things that are not true. Here's RFK saying, like, don't trust the science. I understand the message of don't, like, just blindly trust the science, just like I've been telling you guys all day. Don't blindly trust Trump. But the problem that RFK has when he says don't trust the science is I don't trust the scientists. I don't trust Fauci necessarily. We go and we look at the data. And all these things that he says all the time, he's now saying we're going to do double-blind placebo studies on all vaccines. We did that. He spent so many years lying about us not doing that now he's acting like we're going to do something. We've already done it. We did that on all of these things. So he's telling you to not trust people because they didn't do these studies, but they did those studies. So I would say that maybe the person telling you not to trust somebody for not doing something that they absolutely did, maybe he's the person we shouldn't trust.
And we can make answers. And above all, we are going to get rid of the taboos about challenging orthodoxies, about challenging consensus. And we're telling the public every day, all of us, that is not science. You know, your whole industry was telling the public for years, trust the experts. Trust the experts is not a function of science or democracy. It's a function of totalitarianism and religion.
Who the fuck said that? Nobody said. Who was saying trust the experts? You see, they just invent these things. They invent all this shit. This is a guy that's pissed off. That's who RFK is. RFK has a big fucking ego. He's a Nepo baby who was born into wealth. And you guys, God damn, you guys love Nepo babies over there. The whole fucking administration is a bunch of entitled, rich, spoiled bitch kids like RFK. And RFK started suing, and RFK started promoting pseudoscience, and then real scientists debunked everything he said, and so he got pissed and went on this tirade, and now he's out here promoting science, like actual pseudoscience, anti-science. Nobody, find the fucking clips. Find the clips of people going, just trust the scientists. Nobody said that. This is the beauty of being a Republican politician, is you just tell people, this is what CNN always says this. None of these motherfuckers watch CNN. You guys aren't sitting here watching CNN all day. Go find me the clips of saying, just blindly trust the experts. Nobody said that. RFK built his entire campaign on a premise that he was the anti-trust the experts. But who are the trust the experts people? Who are they? Everything Dr. Fauci said when he said we're using the best available data, you could go see that data. So you could choose to trust Fauci if you wanted. We can't force you to digest data. But the data was there. It's not like people then went in and looked at the data and they're like, wait a minute. That's not what the data said. It's exactly what the data said. And data changes. The more data you have, the more likely you are to come to a different conclusion. So as the data expanded, the opinion changed. And then dipshits like RFK are like, oh, I changed his mind. You shouldn't ever be able to change your mind. You should be applauded when you change your mind. Changing your mind should be something like anytime one of your friends or family says, I changed my mind, that should be applauded. Don't be inquisitive, be curious, challenge your own beliefs all the fucking time. But RFK is like, he goes away. If he stops being the anti-science, the anti-vax guy, nobody gives a shit about him anymore. He has to keep this up to keep his brand. So he had to make this fake narrative that never existed. There was never a narrative of a bunch of people saying, trust the scientists, trust the science. Just do it blindly. No, go look at it. And if the data backs it up, then sure, you can trust it. And if the data changes later, change with it. Just go change. It's okay.
You testified on Capitol Hill that
that was the end of that clip. All right. Sorry for that rant there. I'm so tired. I'm tired of Republicans making up a position that we don't hold so that they can be the opposite of that position. And then they don't ever have to back up anything they say. I'm going to get into some of the shit that RFK said. But I also want to bring up, I talked to my friend this morning who has a nonverbal autistic child. I think I told you guys about him before. He's a very calm person. And he we were out golfing, and I've never seen him snap like he snapped after hearing that RFK was putting his child on a list. And I talked to him this morning, and these parents don't fuck with the children of don't fuck with the children that have autism, because their parents will fuck you up, and those parents are pissed. And he said that their children, like, essentially just need to be on a list, and we need to eliminate children like them. The problem that you have with going after autistic people is there is a broad spectrum of autism, and some of the most brilliant human beings on the earth are autistic. You fucked with the wrong people. He tried to punch down like Republicans always do, because the one thing that's universally true about conservatives is you guys only punch down. You never punch up. You always punch down at marginalized groups. You always punch down at groups that don't actually have a fighting chance against you. You never punch up. Mostly because punching up would just be like punching white supremacy in the face. And you're like, I don't want to do that. It's gonna remove my ability to punch down. Those are the parents are gonna be the undoing of RFK and this entire movement. I want you to hear Elizabeth Warren grilling excuse me. Who was it? I should have written down who this was. Anyways, here's Elizabeth Warren. Cue the Pocahontas, fake Indian, CNN, socialist, communist shit from the Republicans. You'll see, like, in the comments, all the Republicans are going to talk about her being native, and so that they don't have to hear what she says.
In just the last week, Secretary Kennedy has made multiple inaccurate claims about the measles vaccine. Meanwhile, under his leadership, HHS has censored CDC analysis on the importance of measles vaccinations, canceled research on vaccine hesitancy, and pulled funding that local health departments use to help parents vaccinate their kids. So you're saying everything that Secretary Kennedy has done in handling the measles vaccine and this crisis, you're fine with. Is that right? I just want to make sure I understand.
Senator, I think he's sincerely concerned about measles.
That's not my question. My question is, you okay with all this?
Sorry?
You okay with all this?
I think he's doing a great job.
Okay.
Yeah. He told everybody not to vaccinate their kids for measles. Now we got a measles outbreak, and he's doing a great fucking job. Sorry, I wasn't keeping up with super chats. By the way, anybody who says that super chats or the chat is muted and we're censoring, that's just YouTube. If you post something and it doesn't post, it's because of YouTube. So just change your words a little bit. I don't care if you want to super chat and say some fucked up things to me, just choose words that YouTube won't censor. Amy said, being wrong is an opportunity to learn. It's not a bad thing. It was a bad thing when I wanted to just be right, which made me ignorant. It's a great point. Dank just said, Trumpers, join the live, defend your daddy in purpose or in person. And also I'll support common sense with my money. Trumpies cry. Amy's back. Jen, you're the reason this show doesn't devolve into Jay trauma dumping about Mitt Romney in a tank top. Your brain is sharp, your jokes are dad tier gold, and your presence is like emotional Bengay, soothing, a little weird, and somehow essential. Never leave us. Amy, you gotta get like a Substack or something. Your writing is incredible. And then Jen said, have a great weekend, RTP team. Thank you very much. Did I read this one? I agree with Amy. Raw dogging it well after I'm done. Tony's
favorite. Raw dogging is my favorite.
Tony said, tell them to give their balls a tug. Tit fuckers? Jesus. Tony.
That was aggressive.
Hey, Jen.
Hey.
What's up?
All right. So we've got about an hour till Friendly Friday. We'll update the number here in a second. So we'd like to try to knock that gift goal out before we hit Friendly Friday. So Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats, all go towards knocking out that goal. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, please do so. You can use an Amazon Prime sub on Twitch. YouTube, just hit the subscribe. We also have 4 different memberships over there. And if you guys would like to come on and talk to Jay, and if you disagree with him, how you do that is you look at the Venmo username. That's the same as my Discord username. So if you want to DM me on Discord, I can bring you up to talk to Jay in real time. And also check out our link tree for other social media platforms that we're on, and our merch that we've got. So yeah, if you guys, like you mentioned, if you guys are just yelling into the void, YouTube is censoring you. It's not us. So maybe don't be such a dick. But yeah, so we got about an hour to Friendly Friday.
We've got a new subscriber.
People tell me that they pick their nose. I was just born with mine.
That's so stupid. Okay, thank you. There are good politicians and there are bad politicians on both sides. J.B. Pritzker is a good politician. Oh, God, are you going to put me behind a paywall? All right, I'll just tell you. J.B. Pritzker signed an executive order, the first in the nation, protecting autism data. He is not going to comply with any of the bullshit RFK puts out there, and he is not authorizing the state of Illinois to share that data with RFK so he can create his autism registry. I've still never figured out why we need an autism registry. And I guess they need that by September so they can lie to us that vaccines caused autism. I'm just going to, every day, I want to predict this because I think this is what's going to happen. I think that RFK is a fucking grifter and that he's going to use the government as a way to say that vaccines cause autism. So then when he's out of office, he can go run a massive class action lawsuit and take it to a Trump appointed judge and win a judgment against the vaccine manufacturers for causing autism. And the payout, by the way, in those class actions for the parents, the people actually affected, even if it was true, which it's not, at least so far, nobody's ever proved it was true. They'll get very little, and he'll get hundreds of millions of dollars for being the lawyer. So cool. Sully says, Jen, I love you. And I love that you sent that because then Jen has to send it to me. So thank you. He'll be like, blue states cause autism. It was the libs. It was libs. This was Trump, what I was talking about. So Casey Means is the pick for Surgeon General. I've learned some things that I'm not sure are true. I'll cover them in a minute. But watch Trump admit that he has no fucking clue who this person is, or even like he didn't even verify any of their credentials.
You just announced a new nominee for the U.S. Surgeon General who never finished her residency and is not a practicing physician. So can you explain why you picked her to be America's top doctor?
Because Bobby thought she was fantastic. She's she's a brilliant woman who went through Stanford, and as I understand it, she basically wanted to be an academic as opposed to a surgeon. I think she graduated first in her class at Stanford. And Bobby really thought she was great. I don't know her. I listened to the recommendation of Bobby. I met her yesterday and once before. She's a very outstanding person, a great academic, actually. So I think she'll be great.
Your nominee.
I want to read a couple of things that I saw that were. This is from Nina in the Brain. I don't know if you follow her on Instagram. Great person to follow. I thought this was a really smart way to say this. In response to RFK. Now, RFK and Casey Means both make millions of, well, I don't know what their income is on this, actually. I know Casey Means probably makes millions of dollars off of selling supplements. And they said the tweet was, the cause of all your problems just happens to be whatever it is that they are monetizing. And somehow in this narrative, the scientists are the ones not to be trusted. The people who spend their entire lives studying these conditions, publishing peer-reviewed data, and debating mechanisms with rigor. But this one person on a podcast or political stage, they've cracked the code. It's not a breakthrough. It's a business model contingent on the notion that scientists are clueless or corrupt. It's also important to remember that, like, most of this shit that they're saying, like the accusation, doesn't make any fucking sense. The scientists are not the ones that are making massive profit off of drugs and vaccines. It's the companies that produce them. So if you don't want to trust Pfizer, if you don't want to trust Moderna, that's fine. I think that you shouldn't. That's why you should look at the data of the scientists who don't work for Pfizer and who don't work for Moderna, and their job is just to get the right data. But we've now taken what really is a capitalism problem And RFK is going to point to some statistics here in a minute. He's going to lie about the statistics, but also not pay attention to what the root cause is. The root cause of our problem is capitalism. The root cause is that there is a monetary incentive for these pharmaceutical companies to keep people taking drugs. And the same incentive that the pharmaceutical companies have to get people to keep taking drugs is the same incentive that RFK and Casey Means have to keep selling their supplements. Keep people fearful, keep people hooked, and keep people trying things. They have the same fucking incentive. When you say don't trust Big Pharma, they just want to keep you hooked. Well, don't you think Casey and RFK want you to not spend money on Big Pharma and instead spend it in places where they make money? Do you see the problem here? Like, they both have the same profit motive, and so what they do is then they demonize the scientists. They demonize the people who don't have a profit motive. They demonize the career professionals who want to find answers. Like, they want to cure disease. Do you see how fucked up this is? You have pharmaceutical and you have the grifters, and they're all arguing whether or not the scientists are good or bad, and they're bad. They are the bad ones. The pharmaceutical companies are the bad ones, and RFK and Casey Means are the bad ones. They're the ones that lie to you so that they can make money, not the scientists. So why the fuck would we bring in a non-scientist, non-surgeon, non-doctor who podcasts and makes money off of convincing people that Big Pharma is bad? Why would we bring that person in? That person can't be trusted. They have an obvious conflict of interest. But grifter's going to grift. That's what MAGA is. It's just one perpetual grift. This was from a friend. I can't verify this, so take it with a grain of salt that this is not verified. A doctor I work with knows her well. While she did graduate from medical school, she dropped out of her residency, meaning that she cannot legally practice medicine. It is very clear that she is way out of her scope of practice and is not qualified to be in a position of power and decision-making. She dropped out 6 months from graduating a 5-year surgical residency. This happens when you failed remediation several times, and the program gives you the option to either resign or get fired. She's a 37-year-old wellness influencer / snake oil peddler who can't legally practice medicine in any state. Seems like the people who actually went through this process know that there's an exit ramp for people who are going through their residency. It seems like it's kind of obvious to them what happened. That's the exit ramp. That's when they say, look, you're not going to make it, so we'll let you resign. And then it doesn't look bad. Then you can tell your own story. It looks an awful lot to me like Casey Means wasn't going to make it, and so she resigned and went on a rampage against Big Pharma, and she has made a fortune in doing so. That's what it looks like to me. But thank God we have Donald Trump here, the president of the fucking United States, who just says, oh, I just trust Bobby. I don't know. We threw up a surgeon general. I met her one time, but Bobby says she's good. And that's it. That's all it took. Bobby said she's good. And you go on social media and you see like the Maha supporters, and they're like, oh, I trust Bobby. Guys, don't listen to the haters. We have to trust in the process. Bobby's here for us. RFK's here for us. He's sacrificing everything for us, just like Donald Trump is sacrificing everything for us. They're getting filthy fucking rich off of you, and they're telling you that they're sacrificing. Remember, just like the clip at the beginning of the show, they tell you they're sacrificing so they can have what? Moral superiority. When you have sacrificed, you have moral superiority, and everybody else needs to shut the fuck up and listen. That's why they do this. That's why they attack it from a moral ground. They invent this story of I'm morally superior, so you have to listen to me. I know I was in the industry and I left the industry. Therefore, don't question what I say. I think we should listen to whistleblowers. I don't think that anybody should discount Casey Means because she says the opposite of what the pharmaceutical companies say. But I do think that with Casey Means and RFK, we should check their work, which is what I'm about to do here with RFK. And it's remarkably easy to find out how uninformed RFK is. Just listen to him. And every time he makes a claim, pull up ChatGPT, pull up Google, pull up, I used Perplexity, pull it up and check his claims, because this is how simple this is.
And we use 70% of.
I have not researched why she left. She said that she left. Well, let me say that. She claims that she left because she saw that the industry was predatory and she didn't want to be involved in that industry. And I'm fine with her saying that. I find it convenient that it's at the same time that most people are given an exit ramp. And I find it convenient that when she left, she monetized it. And she monetizes it with supplements. And the supplements, by the way, like if we go to her page, let me go Casey Means. Let's find her website. By the way, it says Casey Means MD, which I don't know about that. Good energy starts here. Buy my book. I just find it interesting that the people who say that they're doing this out of moral clarity, the very first thing, now get your newsletter. I was here for 4 seconds, but now we've got a pop-up ad from this fucking grifter. Good energy. Order your copy. As seen in, here's all the places I've seen. Here's what she says. My mission is to help each of us be empowered to feel limitless, healthy, and positive during our precious lives so we can reach our highest purpose and have the energy to be effective stewards and protectors of Mother Earth. Here's all our newsletters. Here's the free services. You can get your guide, ultimate food list. And then we go here. We can get her book. You can get the recipes. You can get to her guides. You can learn how to cook. Gold energy content. And then if you go to her podcast and you watch it, you'll notice all the supplements. Let's see if I can find her podcast link on here. Is it in here? Let me see if I can find the podcast link. Oh, these motherfuckers. They took it down. She took it down. So this page yesterday, maybe the day before, you can see up here, my faves, #category, #supplements. You used to be able to buy the supplements straight from her page. And on the page, there was a warning. I wonder if we can get the Wayback Machine to pull this up. Let's see if I can find it. If somebody may have. Let's see if somebody archived this. Somebody had to have. All right, let's go back here. I'll tell you this, by the way, if any of you guys don't know about Wayback Machine, when people change their webpage, you can find, here it is. I wonder if the link's going to be broken, though. Let's see. I don't know if, there we go. Look at this. So this is what she has deleted now. We got cellular energy, timeline, the serum, timeline, the night cream, timeline, the day cream, an app for your phone, natal, prenatal vitamins, Zen basil, basil seeds, metabolic health collection daily harvest box, timeline nutrition, energy bits, Farm Rio, Genova Connect, pod, 8 sleep pod cover, 8 sleep mat. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, she was monetizing the fuck out of this. Now she's hiding it. I wonder what would happen if I go click on her. Let's go on these natals. Oh, they took. There's none on there. Anyways, they all had. When you go to, it is here. Let's see where the warning is. It might be on the bottle. Anyways, they have to. One of the rules is with selling these supplements is you have to tell people that it's not proven, like that none of the claims that are made, like it's not proven to do what any of the claims might say. Like they say, like if they've made a claim, we're saying that we don't support any specific claims. So it's just grift after grift after grift. Is this that same one?
Of the pharmacy.
Is this that same one here? All right, so here's RFK now. Sorry, I got distracted. Here's RFK now lying to you, and this is how easy it is. So if you're going to say, like, I don't trust the pharmaceutical companies because they lie, then you can't trust Bobby because he lies. Swish says, never trust Bobby. Bobby sucks. Amy Lynn said, did you see Kristi Noem gets reamed for waste, fraud, and abuse? Yeah, I'll cover that. Soli said, Jen, I love you. Let me catch up on these before I play the clip or I'll forget. Rich said, you and I go to the gym every day. Thanks, Jay. Hey, thanks for taking me to the gym with you. I don't know. Do I burn calories at the same time? That'd be dope. Kelly said, for MAGA equals low info. Thank you, and Jen, for all that you do. And I got that one. All right, here's RFK.
And we use 70% of the pharmaceutical products in the world are sold to our country.
That's not true. I pulled the numbers. I think it's, depending on the estimates, it's 30 to 40%. I've seen people say 50. It's not 70. It's like 30 to 40%. What he's doing, the way that he got that 70% number, just so you know, is he took the dollar value instead of the total amount. Because in America, we pay more for our pharmaceuticals because we don't collectively bargain, because we're afraid of unions and we're afraid of the word socialism. So we don't let the citizens of our country collectively bargain to get lower prices. We let the big pharma, the health insurance companies do the bargaining for us, which is why if you have regular health insurance, your pharmaceuticals are more expensive than like on Medicare and Medicaid, and why every other country pays less than us. So what he did here is fucking sneaky. He took the dollar amount rather than the total amount. So that's how he gets to 70%, because he's using the dollar amount. And I don't know if he knows that or not, or if he's just repeating some other fucking psycho who's trying to get you to not be vaccinated so that you'll buy their colloidal silver. I don't know where he's getting his information, but he's wrong. So there's one. We are, how many seconds in? We're 6 seconds in. We've got one lie.
We only have 4.2% of the world's population. We are the sickest country in the world, and pharmaceutical products are the number 3 cause of death after
the top 5 causes of death are, number 1, which he's right here.
Cancer and heart attacks.
The number 1 is not heart attacks, it's heart disease. Number 2 is cancer. Number 3 is accidents or unintentional injuries. Number 4 is COVID. Number 5 is stroke. And number yeah, those are the top 5. So he just told you a lie right there. He just told you that pharmaceuticals are the number 1 or the number 3 cause of death behind cancer and he said heart attacks, but really heart disease. So you got 1-ish, 1.5 of those answers correct. Why does he lie like this? You can't, the problem we have is, like, he tells the truth about the pharmaceutical industry. Maybe sometimes, but he's lying right now. Why is it that if Big Pharma lies to you, it's a problem, but when RFK lies to you, this is what MAGA will do. It legitimately will make them like him more. The MAGA that are here, like the true MAGA that are here, that are seeing me in real time correct his data, they will like him more. And what they'll say is, this guy is fucking lib. Yeah, right, dude. And then you'll just like him more. And you'll leave here and you'll be like, that lib didn't like him, so I love him. He lies to you. They all lie to you. You got a bunch of fucking quacks running our medical system. We're a joke. What we need is somebody in this position and in the government to stop letting the pharmaceutical companies kill us and charge us too much. And he's going to do none of that because he's an idiot. And if he gets into any conversation with any of those people and it's public, it's going to become very apparent very quickly that this dumb motherfucker doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's just a Nepo baby with a grudge. And when you're a Nepo baby with a grudge, if you want power, you better hope that an idiot becomes president.
So all that advertising,
and he got it. He got an idiot to be president. And now here we go. Trump's appointee's biggest flexes as seen on TV. All right. the person that funded RFK's campaign and his VP candidate, her name is Nicole Shanahan. She now is saying that this isn't the RFK that she backed, and she thinks that he's being controlled, and it's not the RFK that she knew.
And last thing on this, your former running mate weighed in today saying that she wasn't happy about this and said that you're somehow being controlled. Your decisions are being controlled. That's what she posted.
Listen, you guys sitting here, 4 people who were all canceled during COVID.
Yeah, that's right.
Of these people.
None of them were canceled. They were criticized. This is another epidemic in the GOP. People who get criticized claim that they're canceled to become more popular. I was talking, I don't think she'll care that I said this. I was talking to Felice the other day, and I did not know that both Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz came from Oprah. I didn't know that she's the one that launched their careers. This is what all of them do. They use like public perception and they use public narratives to gain authority, and then they use that to grift for the rest of their life. What this is 4 grifters. These are 4 people who saw an opportunity to make a bunch of money off of the distrust of the pharmaceutical industry, and they did it. And now these 4 grifters all work for the Trump administration, because that's like the #1 quality that Trump loves in somebody is grifters. None of them were canceled. All of them were elevated. No, you guys, nobody talked about RFK before COVID. Nobody talked about, I forget this guy on the end. What his name? None of you had heard of Dr. Oz. And if you were somebody who cared about the environment, you may have heard of RFK. These people were nobodies or had dying careers until COVID, and claiming to be canceled by pushing pseudoscience, resurrected their careers, made them millions of dollars, and now they're up here hired by this administration, a bunch of people with no fucking credentials who made millions of dollars off of telling you not to be vaccinated.
You've got the entire leadership of this agency is renegades who are juggernauts against convention and who are trying to look for truth no matter what the cost.
Well, the problem I have with that is none of them are telling the truth. RFK just gave us 2 stats that were lies. We're juggernauts. We are renegade juggernauts. You're all rich bitches. You just Nepo baby. You had your career handed to you by Oprah. Was a nobody until you started being anti-vax. These are not renegades. They are charlatans. They're snake oil salesmen. They're just selling you this story so that you feel cool following them. Yeah, dude. I'm not just somebody who follows. I think for myself. I do my own research. Nobody that follows these people did their own research, because their research is wrong. The things that they're saying are wrong, like verifiably wrong all the fucking time. These are just grifters. They're just thieves. They're just liars. You know, if these people came to your door 2 by 2, you'd be like, "Get off my porch, Mormons. Stop trying to sell me that shit." They're like insurance salesmen. They're selling you a bunch of products that don't fucking work while telling you to not get vaccinated, which works. Hey, don't do the best thing to say. Don't do the most effective thing to protect you against COVID. Try colloidal silver. Try hydroxychloroquine. Try these horny goat weed. Like, nobody's as soft as a conservative. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Those conservative men are soft as shit. That's why every time you go to a conservative podcast, it's like, and now to our sponsor, Blue Chew. Your dick can work again. You don't have to scream at women when your dick doesn't work. This'll fix it. There you go. You don't have to. You don't have to do it. You don't have to scream at women. Just try a Blue Chew. Get your dick nice and hard. By the way, she's also crazy. Nicole Shanahan, I think it's her name. Is it? Yeah, she's also crazy. This was a video that she put up.
Surfing this morning and was watching the planes flying overhead, and then I couldn't take it anymore. But that is not a contrail. That looked like it started as a contrail maybe, and now it's turning into a cloud. See how thick that is? You can see this one, it's a little further behind, and this one's a picture behind it as well. This one is the one that's been up there longest. This shit has to end. This is ridiculous. Surfing this morning.
She's a chemtrail lady. She's, I remember one time my dad had this friend that lives totally off the grid, and we went to visit him, and he started talking to us about he went off grid and abandoned his whole life because of chemtrails. Now, a contrail is a condensation trail. It's like when the jet is flying, it releases water vapor into the atmosphere, like the jet engines. And so the water vapor condenses and then it freezes. And that's why you see it, because the temperatures there are below freezing. So it makes long white streaks in the sky. And then they don't stay together because wind exists. And so they spread out. And you know what also is condensation that is frozen in the atmosphere? Clouds. Clouds are. So what she's saying is it should stay in a straight line. And if it's a chemtrail, it spreads out. It just magically spreads out. Cloud. Have you ever sat and watched the clouds and you'll see a cloud that's a certain shape, and as it moves across the sky, it kind of breaks apart or expands, and then it doesn't look like the same shape anymore? Me and my daughter do this all the time. We lay on the grass and we try and pick out shapes for clouds, and then after 5 minutes later, that cloud is not the same shape anymore. It's because it does the same thing. Is that a chemtrail too? These people are all fucking psychos. But this works. That kind of shit works on Republicans, because Republicans just see that and they're like, oh, that's different. Those two the same. That one different. Must be the government. They've got you so convinced that you're being lied to by the government that when they lie to you, you're just like, that's fine. You don't even know. Let me do this. Let me check Jen's messages real quick. Chelsea said, run that ad back, please. You got it. Nobody's as soft as a conservative. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Those conservative men are soft as shit. That's why every time you go to a conservative podcast, it's like, and now to our sponsor, Blue Chew. Your dick can work again. You don't have to scream at women when your dick doesn't work. This'll fix it. I gotta say, I did not make that. That was something I just said on a live that somebody turned into an ad in our, there's a RTP out of context section in our Discord, and you can find clips like that. Pink said, anyone who needs some eye bleach after having to see and listen to the worm talk, look up a tufted pygmy squirrel. Thanks, Jane Jen. Well, tufted pygmy squirrel. Let's have a look. Whoa. I love this. Somebody get me this right now. That's a liberal squirrel right there. That's a blue-haired squirrel. You know they're a lib. You know they're out there marching against Trump. That was a good message right there. Thank you. Photo Day said Trump's appointee's biggest flex. Oh, I saw that. Trump's biggest appointee's biggest flex is as seen on TV. Caitlin says for the dollar train. Thanks, Caitlin. There we go. Going to coffee shops. Yeah, they work at coffee shops, and they write their blog from the coffee shop, or their Substack, I guess. All right. This is just kind of interesting. I'm interested to see what Republicans say. I'm going to take a totally different approach here. I think this is orchestrated. So this is James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe ran Project Veritas, and Project Veritas ran him out and also sued him because he destroyed their brand. He's the guy that you used to see these videos all the time, uncovering liberals, and it would be someone with a blurred face, and it would be like, Facebook whistleblower tells the truth. And then it wasn't really a Facebook whistleblower. It was just like a guy that they just hired to say that. And James O'Keefe kept running these videos, calling them journalism, and they weren't. And so when I heard that James O'Keefe was going to drop a bombshell report, he did. It's so fucking contrived, guys. Let me go back. Well, I'll show the video first, and then I'll go back. I'll find these while we're going. Here's the video that he put out.
Yesterday, Attorney General of the United States Pam Bondi was at the White House and disclosed what she represented as brand new information in relation to Jeffrey Epstein, the existence of tens of thousands of videos featuring little children.
There are tens of thousands of videos
of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly acknowledged that videos of Epstein and his victims exist. What you may not know is just 9 days prior, the Attorney General had a very similar conversation with a total stranger in a restaurant.
Do you know when the Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. The FBI's been.
Okay.
So,
any dates?
No, you know what it is? There are tons and thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
In the past, officials have spoken about the, quote, mountain of evidence in the Epstein case, but they've never, previous to that moment, acknowledged on the existence of videos of, quote, little kids. Just a few days later, at 2 p.m. on May 1st, our reporter sent the AG's office the text of the recording. We asked why this detail had not been disclosed to the public, but was instead being told to a random stranger at a restaurant. The Attorney General used almost the exact same language as she did with the stranger in the restaurant, language that we shared with her press office.
By the way, we knew these videos. We know these videos. Like, this isn't news. This is a weird thing that James O'Keefe is doing. They're trying to blame Pam Bondi, I think. Here's what I really think is going on. If I had to guess, I think Trump's implicated. I think it's obvious that Trump is implicated. And I think that you can look at the way that Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are handling this and the way how uncomfortable they get when it gets brought up. I think it's very clear that Trump has told them, I have nothing to do with this. My name's going to come up there and I can't have my name out there. That's what I think's happening. And I think James O'Keefe knows that. And I think Alex Jones knows that. I think they all know that. And so they are trying to make Pam Bondi the scapegoat right now.
Videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, we hesitated to publish this story, but believe, like we did yesterday, that the public has a right to know. And this one raises
we already knew
serious questions. On one hand, why did our country's highest law enforcement official share this information first not with the American people, but with a self-described nanny at brunch?
Because we already knew.
But more importantly, why was this information held back in the first place?
Because it wasn't.
Does this show that a government apparatus is still working behind the scenes to protect powerful people involved in the scandal? Based upon the response to our Epstein story yesterday, it's clear that the American people want answers, and they want accountability.
Correct. We do want answers. We do want accountability, but we knew all this shit. So what's interesting is the way that they preface this. Like, it was completely contrived. Alex Jones was like, I've got breaking bombshell news. Folks, this is going to knock your tits off. The Trump administration is hiding Jeffrey Epstein, and I believe it's Pam Bondi, and our lives are in danger. And when we share this information, we will be the hunted.
James O'Keefe's, one of the two big stories he's breaking is about someone in the Trump administration covering up Epstein. And then he put out a little short trailer yesterday that shows an image or still shot of video of Pam Bondi.
Pam Bondi.
So he didn't tell me the specifics. When he called me and me alone as a dead man switch.
A dead man switch is something that you leave to be like, if I die, just know this is what it's about. So Alex Jones like went on his show the night before and he's like, I've been contacted by James O'Keefe. He sent me this. And his life is in danger. He even did like this clip, James O'Keefe, of like starting an interview, sitting on a chair, like, I'm nervous. And then he's like, I need a moment. And he gets up off the chair and walks away. And then Alex Jones is like, this is gonna be big news, folks. Pam Bondi is covering up the Jeffrey Epstein files. And then they released it, and everybody's like, yeah, we fucking knew that already. What? He needed a dead man switch to tell us something that we already knew? And the reason I'm showing you this is just like, this is the whole fucking MAGA universe is just a bunch of people cosplaying preppers. The end of the world is coming. I'm Alex Jones. Buy my supplements. Get your colloidal silver. They're all doing it. They're all just grifting you. Fucking everybody. They sold this big thing. I was even like, man, if Alex Jones is running interference for him, it could be. It could be something. And then they release the video and it's like, all right. Yeah, we knew that. Just like when they dropped the JFK files and the Epstein files the first time, it's like, you've told everything you showed us, we already knew. I think there's probably one of two reasons why it hasn't been released. I do believe Pam Bondi, by the way, when Pam Bondi says if there are videos of children, they need to edit out the videos of children. First of all, nobody needs to fucking see that. We don't need to see the videos of Jeffrey Epstein abusing children. We don't need them. This is an instance where like maybe the courts have said that they exist. The lawyers have said that, like, we don't need to see that. So I think that could be true, that they're trying to figure out a way to release this and get enough information out without showing child porn, which would be fucking terrific. And you have victims who don't want they and their families don't want them known. Totally fair. I think that we either already know everything and it's just not a conspiracy theory like they want it to be. Because frankly, most of the time when somebody gets busted abusing children, it's not a network. It's not a conspiracy. The only reason this turned out to be a conspiracy is because he wound up being friends with a lot of people and some of his friends have gone down. But even like with Prince Andrew, it wasn't Jeffrey Epstein who brought him down. It wasn't stuff that they found from Jeffrey Epstein that brought down Prince Andrew. It was victims that came forward. That's what brought down Prince Andrew. So either we already know everything, which is my guess, and that Jeffrey Epstein was a sick fuck and he had a couple sick fuck friends and they did sick fuck things together, or Donald, and by the way, and I think Donald Trump's involved in that if I had to guess. And I think Donald Trump, when you go read what that girl said about Donald Trump and the way that he abused her, it checks. So I think it's either that or we already know everything. And they need this to be a conspiracy because they've pinned it on us forever. They've pinned it on libs forever. They've tried to like implicate Obama and Oprah and Bill Clinton, and they say the weirdest things. Like I don't know how you guys operate. Like I don't know how your brains work. How is it that you're like Bill Clinton is definitely on the Epstein list? He definitely was doing it with Epstein because Epstein has a painting of him in a dress. It's not a photo. It's not a Polaroid. It wasn't a picture that somebody took of Bill Clinton hanging out. And even if he was wearing a dress, what does that prove? I have no idea what that even proves. But we'll believe that. Like, that's evidence. He flew on the plane. There's a painting of him. Therefore, Bill Clinton's an abuser. Donald Trump flew on the plane, called him a million times, went to parties with him, held parties where there were underage girls there at the parties that Trump and Epstein hosted. There is a sworn affidavit from a victim who in great detail explains how Donald Trump abused her. And you guys are like, no way. But there is a painting of Bill Clinton. I don't even know how you guys get here, but I think that's probably the problem, is that your entire side of the aisle has built this thing up that when it comes out, it's going to take down the Dems, and then it's not going to. It's mostly just going to take down Trump and his friends. So you guys have a problem. You can't release any of that shit. I think that's the problem. I think the problem is that this is going to implicate all the wrong people, and so they've got to figure it out. And they've got to figure out a way to present this. And we're going to find out who Kash Patel is, and we're going to find out who Pam Bondi are, because they told you that they were going to get this shit done, and nothing they're doing is going to get done. And by the way, if they release these files and they don't go out and delete all the other files, which I don't think they can do, I don't think they have the ability to delete all the files because there's other people who have seen these files. If they come out and they spin a narrative that doesn't back up what the files say, and if they come out and they leave out the parts about Trump or leave out parts about certain people and only talk about certain parts, then when Trump's gone or when other people who were involved, that gives them the green light to be like, hold on, wait a minute, You guys are leaving shit out. So I don't know. Either way, they're not doing it. But back to Alex Jones selling you on it.
So I was, I guess, flattered by him. He's like, I think you might be the only person that I know has the integrity to tell this in case something happens. And then when he told me, I was like, yeah, you are in danger, buddy. He told me the other stuff, too. But he wouldn't even say who in the administration.
By the way, I like that. Just like Justin Bieber said, I lost my soul at a Diddy party. I just wanted a Ferrari. A lot of Trump and Diddy connections. I don't know if you guys know this story. The tennis man. This I think it was here. What's this here? If you had this picture of Joe Biden or Obama, it would be plenty for you. This is Trump at a Diddy white party. There's a story of Diddy sexually assaulting somebody at a tennis tournament where he was a guest in Trump's box. You guys don't apply everything equally, by the way. I just saw somebody saying, "Oh, there's Secret Service people who will testify against Clinton." There's people that testified against Trump too, and you don't care. There's picture after picture after picture of Trump with Diddy. Trump saying Diddy's a good guy. Trump saying Diddy's my friend, and you guys just ignore all that shit.
I made some phone calls, and I told the crew over the weekend. I said it's Pam Bondi. According to my sources. And
all right. That's it. Nothing burger dropped there.
Because
I think it's a way. I think it's all coordinated. I think it's a way for them to distract from the absolute disaster of this administration. But while I have the Trump supporters here talking about Diddy,
friend of mine. He's a good guy.
Here's Trump talking about Diddy.
I love Diddy. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
Donald Trump's past comments about Sean Diddy Combs are getting new attention.
Look at all these pictures.
A clip of the former president praising the hip-hop mogul on a 2012 episode of The Celebrity Apprentice has resurfaced in the wake of Diddy's bombshell arrest and indictment on sex trafficking charges. Season 5 contestant Aubrey O'Day touted her time working with Diddy in the 2000s girl group Danity Kane as having prepared her for the business world, prompting Trump to defend the artist and entrepreneur when Aubrey didn't want to discuss the matter further.
I am a very strict and focused businesswoman because working for Diddy for 6 years trained me to have to be perfect.
Working for Diddy?
Absolutely.
I love Diddy. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
He expects.
Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that question.
Oh, wow. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Trump and wife Melania.
Talk about not believing victims, huh? Is he a good guy? I don't want to talk about. I will. I'll vouch for him. I'll stand up for him. What's Trump doing on the record there, vouching for Diddy? How come Trump has the two most notorious sexual abusers of our lifetime in Donald Trump, P. Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein, and Trump is on the record with saying he's good friends with both of them. Ooh, but we're not going to talk about that, right? We're not going to talk about that. Good Lord, if anybody else had the record that Donald Trump has around serial sexual abusers, by the way, RFK flew on the plane. RFK flew on his plane. And RFK is an admitted sexual assaulter. He sexually assaulted his babysitter. Trump is a civilly liable sexual assaulter. His wife accused him of rape. Over 30 women have accused him of sexual abuse. And you guys won't believe that. And then those two guys are buddies with Diddy and they're buddies with Epstein. And you're like, no, it's totally the Clintons and the Obamas, though. Whew. That's some deep, deep cult shit right there. That is some deep, deep cult shit. How do you make that work in your head? We are here to protect children against sexual abusers. All right, what are you doing about that? We're going to remove trans people from women's sports. Oh. Close. You were really fucking close. It's white men. People with power. Maybe people who throw massive parties and give you drugs like Diddy. If you're going to go after the people that are hurting women and children, Maybe look at the president and the people that are around him. How many people have been accused of sexual assault in Trump's like vicinity? The Secretary of Defense, Donald Trump, RFK Jr. They tried to bring Matt Gaetz in. They tried to have the whole fucking crew. Who am I missing? Who else? Who else has been accused? I've never been accused of that, Bobby. Thank you, though. Same thing when the left doesn't think their Congress people aren't on the take hooked up with megacorps. No, I say it every time. There are bad Democrats too. The difference is when you get in trouble and you're a Democrat, you get removed from the party. Like Barney Frank was accused of sexual harassment, like making inappropriate comments to somebody. And I'm not downplaying sexual harassment, but I am saying that Barney Frank is gone. He's gone. You don't even see him anymore. And he was accused and never convicted of sexual harassment. Gone. The Cuomos, gone. But on your side, again, this is why it's a cult, because every time somebody on your side gets accused of something, you like them more. Linda McMahon currently being investigated for trafficking underage children, covering up sexual abuse of children. Do you see? And you guys are playing whataboutism here. Well, what about your side? Let's play the whataboutism. What about our side? Who is it on our side that's credibly accused of trafficking children? Who on our side is credibly accused of sexual assault? Yeah, you don't care about this stuff. We got about 5 minutes before Friendly Friday. Let me check messages one more time. Actually, I'll check those when we get on Friendly Friday. I just want to do this. I want to show Howard Nutlick. Well done, Britt, on the labeling here. There's Howard Lutnick. Now remember, Trump negotiated a deal with the British that is a very favorable deal. Well, he didn't even negotiate a deal. We don't actually even have a trade deal with the British. What we have is a deal on a couple of auto manufacturers at 10%. And the auto manufacturers in America are like, what the fuck, dude? That you fucked us. And Howard Lutnick, instead of just being honest and be like, all right, we got dusted. We don't have a trade deal, and we offered concessions. Instead of doing that, he's like, this is the greatest negotiator in the history of the world. Republicans promote their abusers, Dems fire them. Yeah, there's a reason. Remember, RFK went to Kamala, too, and was like, hey, why don't I bring my support over to your side? And she's like, pass. She wouldn't even take the meeting. Because if you're a sexual assaulter, you don't have a place here. You don't get to be here. You don't get a microphone. You don't get a place on the stage. Nothing. You don't get to be here. He's like, fine, I'll go to the Republicans. And they're like, we love that. In fact, that's all we care about. That's the number one thing. As long as you've sexually assaulted somebody, you're good by us.
That means we export another $300 billion. That's 1 point of GDP produced by the guy who sits behind me in that White House. 1 point of GDP just by him. And then if you start building those factories that he's talked about, that's another 2 points of GDP. That's 3 points a year driven by the guy in the Oval Office.
That's 3 points a year based on things that don't exist yet. I'm just telling you, this is 1%. And if we double it, that's 2%. And if we triple it, that's 3%. Now, none of it exists, but how amazing is this guy? Hypothetically, if all goes well, we're going to have 3% GDP growth. Here he is on Fox News, just glazing this dude. Oh, hand check Jesse Waters and Howard Lutnick here. I want to see your hands when you guys talk.
So the prime minister came in at the end of February to remember that meeting he had with Donald Trump. And he pulled me aside and he said, so what are we going to do? And I said, look, you've got to pick a businessman. You've got a businessman behind the Oval Office, behind the desk. Pick a businessman and let's get a deal done. And so he went out of the ordinary, he picked a businessman, and we got right to it. You have to remember, this is not just a headline deal. This is thousands and thousands of products.
It's literally a headline deal. The only part of the deal that is even solidified, and it's a handshake deal, is the autos. The Rolls Royce, the Jaguar, and the Land Rover. He's like, this is not a headline deal. I am not wearing a tie. I am not wearing a white shirt. I am not bald. Bro, it's literally a headline deal. They just, I don't know. You guys you gotta have some goddamn self-respect. This is not what it is. It's something else.
That are going to unleash $5 billion of our
made
ability,
up number,
our farmers,
made up number,
our business people. We can now sell to the UK that we've never been able to do before. And you know,
we could sell to the UK. We were selling to the UK until Trump slapped tariffs. What is he talking about? We were selling our agricultural products to the UK. This is insane. This is North Korea shit. We haven't even had trade with the UK. What are you talking about? Of course we did. We just haven't had it like for a couple of days. This is crazy. You guys got to have some self-respect.
Favorite part was I bring Donald Trump the deal and I say, look, here's the deal. And he says, come on, how can I make it better? So I go through all the details and he picks up the phone and he calls the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom and he makes the deal $1 billion better yesterday. I mean, what's more?
There's no deal. There's no deal. That story didn't happen. None of that happened. There's no fucking deal. Do you see this? Are you watching this, Republicans? There's no deal. This guy's amazing. And as soon as he made that deal, I swallowed his dusty cum. It was wonderful. There's no deal.
Fun than working for Donald Trump.
Jesse, I'm coming right now.
He squeezed an extra $5 billion out or an extra bill out of that.
He did it.
Well, what happened is he said, look, these are all the products.
Wait, hold on. Look at the smile fade. He didn't know he was going to be asked details, Jesse. That's amazing. How'd he do that? Fuck. Watch Howard Lutnick's smile immediately go away when he gets asked to explain it.
Extra $5 billion out or an extra bill out of that.
Well, what happened is he said, look, these are all the products that we're doing, but we'd really like to add a couple of more products, but we just can't get it done. And he said, look, I'm the closer. I'll do it. And I said, look, we always want the best deal maker to make the deal. He literally picks up the phone and makes the call, and he says to me, Howard, every time you want to close, I'm doing it. This is my favorite thing to do. I'm closing.
How'd you squeeze an extra $5 billion out of that? Or billion out of that? Well, instead of answering that question, I'm going to repeat exactly what I just said, but I'm going to expand, and I'm going to glaze him even more. But what I'm not going to do is give you any more details of how he got an extra $1 billion out of a deal that doesn't fucking exist. Because it doesn't exist. And your audience is too stupid to know that I'm just avoiding your question right now.
There's no better businessman behind that desk than Donald Trump.
All right, so
there's no better businessman than the man who has bankrupted every company that he's ever started. There can be no better businessman than him. It could never be better. All right, sorry. I'm a little late on Friendly Friday, but I want to make fun of Howard Nutlick a little bit longer. Here he is again later in the day. Oh no, man! We're talking about stamina. We got stamina for days. Now here's Larry Kudlow, who sucked off Trump earlier because Trump is making Christianity legal again, or whatever it is. He's bringing prayer back. Now here's Lutnick again.
Giant countries, I don't want to go fast. I want to do it correctly. The president doesn't want to go fast. He wants to do the kind of deal we did today where we said, look, this is just a win for America, and we figured out how to make it a win for them. So it's going to take a little more time than you think. But we could do a good deal tomorrow. But the question is, when are we going to do the best deal?
Guys, the reason we don't have a deal with any countries isn't because we're losing and they're calling our bluff. It's because we don't want to give you good. We want to give you great. It's definitely not because all of them told us to fuck off. So just so you know, even though we said we would get it done immediately, and I just got done telling you how all it takes is Trump to make one phone call and get it done. It's not. It's really because we already won the trade deal, and now we're making it even better. But it's definitely not because they told us to kick rocks.
And I think, like you saw, the president said today, last night he took my deal and he made it better. Last night he took my deal and made it better.
Back at it.
So I always
Last night he took my non-deal and made it better.
let the best deal maker in the world make the deal. You know, I'm a smart guy. I work for Donald Trump. I'm going to let him be the closer every time.
Well, he's a good
Every
closer.
time.
You can create a deal, as I understand the British deal. You've got some important points, as you've outlined, the president outlined.
All right, I don't know why I didn't cut off right there. There's no deal. It's not. It's just a kind of handshake agreement. Here is what was this? The montage from this is Crooked Media. This is just now a montage for our Trump supporters here. We're about to go to Friendly Friday, and you're going to get annoyed that there's going to be libs speaking. So we're going to close on this. I know that you guys have been edging as I've watched, or as we've shown clips of people blowing Donald Trump. So I know you're edging. Just know this clip is 1:20. So pace yourselves. But this is the climax. So you got 1:20. See if you can hold off long enough, and then maybe at a 1:15, you guys can you can climax together, and then you can get out of here while we talk to liberals. Okay, so just keep it going. If you need a little more lotion, have at it. But 1:20 left, and then let it go.
This was the president's deal, and people think, oh, that's not the way it works. If you got to sit next to him, I have the best deal maker to my left. He's the closer. He gets deals done that we could never get done because he understands business. He understands deals. We started at 10%, and we ended at 10%. And the market for America is better, and this is a perfect...
Think of picking up dog shit. Think of your grandma. Think of getting kicked in the shin. Right now is a good time. You got to take your brain elsewhere. Don't finish. We got another minute left. Don't finish yet.
Perfect example of why Donald Trump produced Liberation Day. This would have taken Jameson and I 3 years, maybe. And instead, we got it done in 45 days, certainly, because we work for Donald Trump.
I hate to disagree with Mr. Letnick here, but they did not get this done in 3 weeks.
I forgot that this wasn't. I forgot the part at the end. Sorry. You guys can all climax now. Thanks for being here. All right, guys. I'm ready for Friendly Friday. That's going to get clipped into oblivion. Republicans, go towel off your pants, throw them in the washer, do what you got to do, and get on with your day. But I just wanted you guys to finish today's episode coming together. I thought that was important. If you are a friendly, feel free to hop in. Jen said I sound like I'm pooping. A fun fact about me: the sounds are indistinguishable. But hop in the VC, and I'll bring you up in a second. Let me just read a couple comments, and then we're out of here. Everest Granite said, "Great job, thank you very much." And I think there was one here. Did I get that one? I didn't get that one. You called them. FOD says you called them cosplay grifting preppers. We're good. FOD said actual prepper here. Don't lump those stupid posers in with us, please and thank you. Amy Lynn said, tell Bondi to bring in Doge. They can't go through millions. They can go through millions of files in just days. Plus, Russia will get them, which is nice. Amy said a 14-year-old filed a suit against Trump and Epstein. Trump is in the videos. Freyman said 100% you nailed it. Charles, thank you for the gift there. Chelsea said run that. I did run that ad back. I think I got all of them. All right, we're at Friendly Friday. Jen will update the goal. I don't know if we hit it or not. I don't. Okay, that's what's left. Let me look, Jen.
I think so. I'm looking at the comments. Bobby, you're really. I mean, maybe you should try a plug. You might like it. Expand your horizons.
Bobby's talking about plugs.
Butt plugs, yeah.
That checks.
I mean,
is he saying I've got one?
Yeah.
Oh.
He wants you to pull it out.
Oh no, dude! Bobby, here's the thing: when you pull it out, it's gonna go. It's gonna spray. You got to be careful with that, Bobby. There's a prostate in there. It accelerates the flow, so be careful. You don't. rotating it is a good idea too, Bobby. But when you pull it out, that's when you're really gonna have your life change. So, thank you.
What is up with Bobby's recently?
I don't know. That might be the same Bobby. Rotate your butt plug. I know what Bobby's search history looks like. I'm 100%
Right?
sure. 100% sure.
Right.
All right, let me go out.
Bobby's closet is glass. All right. If you guys want to join Friendly Friday, hop in General VC. I'll drive us over there.
All right, thanks.
So,
All right. Are we there?
we're here.
All right, who's first?
Johnny.
What's up, Johnny? Commies.
What's up?
How's
it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. What are you guys up to? Got anything fun planned this weekend?
Yeah, I do now. Yeah, we got some ideas. Thanks, Bobby.
You're gonna go to Home Depot, get some stuff, freshen up the house.
Bro, you're going industrial strength there.
Industrial plugs.
Yeah, just using it's PVC pipe and a plunger.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got to mess with the Home Depot, right? Because we don't go there anymore.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. Lowe's. We got to go to Lowe's, I think.
You go to Lowe's.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a bunch. People have been doing it for a long time, but choosing with their money.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, did you guys hear about that big bar fight they broke up? Like it was, I don't remember. It was like Ohio or somewhere. It was like outside one of the universities.
No.
It was like this huge bar fight. Yeah. So it was this weekend. I think it was Saturday night, about 2:00 in the morning. These three ropes are walking down the street. They're all just, one's hemp, one's twine, whatever. 3 ropes are walking down the street. And like, let's go check out this bar. So they go into the bar, and one of the buddies says, oh yeah, they don't like ropes in there. So like, what? I mean, like, we help everybody. They like ropes. Sticks his head in. Immediately, the bartender says, we don't take your kind in here. Ropes out. No ropes.
Damn.
What? A little bit of an argument back and forth. They go out. Guy really wants a drink. It's a big deal. Wants a drink. Has a little bit of an argument with his friend. He picks a fight with some other people. He's like, no, I got a plan. So he goes into the alley. He roughs himself up. He throws him against the dumpster, scratches himself against the wall, all this stuff. He just beat the hell up, right? She's like, all right. His friend's like, what are you doing? I forget that I'm on camera. I'm looking away. His friend's like, what are you doing? He's like, what? I got a plan. Watch this. So he goes back into the bar. And the bartender said, I told you once, we don't serve ropes in here. He said, afraid not. Can I have a beer, please?
Nice,
Good one.
nice, John. I was so nervous about where that joke was going. I'm so pleased.
But did you know, actually, in a true story, though, I was in a closet one time, and I thought it was a rope, but I pulled it, and I was shocked that it was actually an electrical cord.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here, Johnny.
I'm just trying to amp up the conversation, not trying to cause any static.
You got to go. Johnny's got to
You're
go.
done.
Love you,
Come on,
Johnny.
you're done.
You got to
My-
go.
you guys, are you resisting my capacity?
That's good. Jen,
Yes.
take care of this. There we go. All right.
Bye, Johnny.
Who's next?
It's good talking to you, John. JT.
What's up, JT?
Jet. Hello?
Hey.
Hey, Jay.
What's up,
How's
man?
my Marxist radical lib?
Really good. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Love to hear it. All right. I know you don't like compliments, but there was 2 things that I want to compliment you on.
Okay.
First of all, I'm still working for Bezos, unfortunately. So I was outside my van, delivering. And then all of a sudden I heard Alex Jones. And I was like, oh, he's playing an Alex Jones clip. And I come back and you were doing that. So I just wanted to compliment you on that. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Or not fantastic. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. You can buy my supplements. Infowars.com. Oh, fuck. I don't own Infowars anymore. AlexJones.com.
Sorry, I have to prepare for
Yeah.
I have to prepare for a recession. I can't right now. Anyways. And then second of all, I wanted to compliment you on or it's not even a compliment.
Good.
I want to bring up so you do your what's the nice word to say? Your deep throating for for the Republicans, right?
Yeah.
And I can see why people, love to deep throat Donald Trump because I think they mix up with his initials. DT is deep throat.
Yeah. That could be
So I think that's why they're getting it for.
Thank you.
So yeah. And one more thing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get into the meat of the story. So I think, how do I word this? I think so. Donald Trump.
Is that you, Jen?
No, dude, it looks like his connection went weird.
Oh.
I didn't do it this time.
I was like, damn.
If it was me, I would own it. But no, I didn't. It looks like it's.
All right, who's
He
next?
Von Sweet has a new name.
Von Sweet. Von Sweet's got
Von
a
Sweet.
new name. What do we got? I'm not looking at it. Worst
It's-
merch designer ever. Okay, tell me about it.
I got a new name from Jen. She didn't like my design.
Jen, do you have the design?
Yeah, let me go. Hold on. Where is it? It was in tea time. Was this yesterday? Or the day before?
Day before, I think. I think we had a day off yesterday.
Tea Time's been a bit unhinged. You guys have been getting it.
Tea Time is the best channel. Everyone should join Discord just for that one. It's the first thing I check every day.
Yeah. I think we were talking about it had to do with the booger.
Of course.
I
I gotta say, I don't think it is all men, but I do think it's all bobbies.
Yeah.
Bobby's gonna come back as MAGA. I guarantee it.
Right.
With Bobby Kennedy today on the show, and then Booger Bobby. And
go
ahead.
I
Stay
said
away from bobbies.
I said in the tea time that I adore all you messy bitches, and
you told people you adored them.
The the messy ones, yes.
Weird. All right.
Right. And so Von Swede says, "I'll save this forever. Print it on T-shirts and mugs." And I said, "Merch idea?" And she said, "Yes." So she came up with this merch idea. Grab it. Here. Here. Where the fuck? Why can't I just copy it? Stupid thing.
Pammy. It's an old-fashioned word, Pammy. Groceries. Nobody says groceries anymore. It's an old-fashioned word.
Isn't the word kind an old word too?
Yeah, was it kind? Is that what the other one was? Nobody ever says kind anymore.
Yeah, it's old timey.
Here, I just put it in our chat.
All right.
And so.
Oh, I like that. I think this would sell.
Right?
I actually think this would be. Tell me you guys wouldn't buy this shirt in the Discord. I think that's a great design. I don't know about your name. I think that's adorable.
Right.
Yeah. No, Jen didn't like it, so I got a new name.
I feel like it could. I mean, there's no bitches or anything in it. I feel like there should be bad words.
That's true. No,
you can't.
That's true.
No, you can't make the shirt like something Jen wants. That's the point. You have to do. You have to do the vulnerable part where she said she adores you, and leave out the crusty part. Then it's a better shirt.
Yeah, I definitely focused on the adore you part.
Yeah, I like it.
Because that's what when I saw that message, I was like, "Aw."
Yeah,
That's
that might be up on the merch shop soon. I might turn that into a hoodie.
in May.
I'm still gonna wear hoodies every day.
Weirdo. Anyways.
Oh yeah.
See,
I
Leafy,
got nothing else to
Leafy,
say.
you're here. I'll make it so you can see it. But Leafy's comment got snagged by the Ottoman. Jen's bitch would go hard.
That's true. That would be a good one.
Yeah,
definitely. Oh, I want that on a mug. I love mug for some reason.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else you want to chat about, Moonsweed?
No, I'm just looking forward to tonight. I slept in long tonight. So I'm awake for all your lives because time difference and all. So
what's tonight?
I'm ready. There is another live.
Oh, there is?
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's 7 Eastern, so it's like 1 a.m. my time. So.
Oh, all right. I don't know anything about it.
No, they're fun. And, I enjoy them a lot, so I will see you everyone in tea time.
All right.
Yep.
But, no, I don't have anything else, but I do like the mug, Jen's bitch.
Let's see what we can do. So.
Yeah. So, well, I love you and I hate you and you're the worst. So,
That's
All
better.
right, bye.
See it.
Bye.
Much better. All right. So Wayne sent a Venmo saying for letting the cucks finish together.
Oh, good. I'm glad they finished.
Yeah, I mean, positive impact.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
it's really good. How about you?
Pretty good. I'm down here in hot Phoenix.
Oh,
So
you are? It's going to be 100 today. It's warm.
I know it's so hot. We went we got a nice long walk in this morning and then we dipped in the pool and now we're do you know what the Little Snitch? Have you ever been to that?
The Little Snitch?
Yeah.
No. No, that's
It's a
in
brunch
Scottsdale?
place in Scottsdale. Yeah.
Oh yeah, in Old Town.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been there. I've seen it.
It's not in Old Town. It's in it's off of Pima. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was in maybe I don't know what you're talking about then. I thought it was
Okay. Anyways, it's a really cute little brunch place, but yeah, we're trying to stay indoors today. But I don't know how you're in a hoodie. Like it is so flipping hot.
Well, I'm inside. And so
I know, but even inside,
it's
like
cooler inside.
still hot.
I keep it cold. I keep it cold now. I think it's
Okay.
I think it's like 75 in here. So
Okay. Yeah. 75 is not hoodie weather to me. But anyways, it's wonderful. We've had a great time.
Good.
I just wanted to say, so I'm here with 5 other women. They're all Trump supporters. They're from Alaska.
Ew.
And yeah, they're wonderful. But we had the most productive conversation last night. I don't know how we got on to politics, but one of the gals started bringing up, Elon Musk and everything that he's been doing. And I just had a real honest. I just went through things very methodically with them about like what actually has happened. And what I realized is the echo chamber that they're in and how much they actually have no idea what's really going on. And that is part of the reason that they are okay with it is they have a completely different narrative about what's going on, and they're just being lied to. And like I showed them sources, and I showed them, like some data and facts, and like 3 of them were like, "Holy crap! I had no idea that that's what they were actually doing." So, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I find that's true. And kudos to you for keeping those relationships. I think a lot of people, it's frustrating. And so people just cut people out of their lives.
Yeah.
Good for you for keeping those relationships because that's what it takes for somebody who's being lied to. It just takes like that one moment where they let their guard down, where they're open to new information. Maybe you have a few drinks and then that can be,
Yes.
that can start the slow roll. And that doesn't mean they wind up not being conservative. It just means that they hold conservatives more accountable. Maybe we get back to like a real debate on like issues.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really interesting because I shared with them, I forgot exactly, I think it's getfacts.org or USA Facts. I forgot what it is now. But anyways, I shared that with them last night. We were going through different things. And yeah, it was really interesting. They were like, it was just really eye opening for all of them. And one of the ladies was 79 years old. And like, she even was like, oh my God, like, so and they all thanked me this morning because I mean, it was pretty contentious at one point, and I felt kind of like trapped at one point, but,
Yeah.
I just kept my cool. I didn't get upset. I just stayed really centered in the facts. I didn't like call them name, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you guys are dumb or stupid, or I just stayed really, calm through the whole thing. And anyway, I was proud of myself,
Dude, I'm
but
proud.
it was, yeah. So,
Somebody
so I
said
want to,
you're their hero in the chat. So there you go.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for equipping me to be able to have that conversation as well. So,
Thank you. That's really nice. Thank you.
yeah. All right. I'm going to go have lunch with them.
Okay, go have a positive impact. Where are you going
Right.
to lunch? Where are you going to lunch?
Little Snitch.
Oh, that's where you're going
Brunch
to
and
go to lunch.
cocktails.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that like I have good ideas of where to go to lunch. I don't. So you let me know
Yeah.
if you go
And then
anybody
we're
else
going
good.
okay. And then we're going to Cave Creek to have dinner up there at Tonto's. Have you ever been there?
Yeah. Yeah. Tontos is great.
Yeah. So
Well, enjoy yourself.
that's our afternoon. All right. Thanks. Bye.
We'll see it.
Swish, I think.
Good afternoon, Double Daddy.
Hey.
Jen, everyone. Hey.
Welcome.
Hi.
I'm in such a good mood today. It is Friendly Friday. I honestly don't have any lame jokes for you today because none could outshine the lame joke this friendly Friday that is Border Bobby. So
Fuck that
I'm
guy.
going. So instead of a lame joke, as I was sitting here, I have a little limerick that I just sort of jotted down as I was sitting, waiting, deciding what I was going to say. And so, if you don't mind, I'll share that with you.
I'm ready.
All right. There once was a booger named. Wait, hold on. God damn it. I forgot about my inability to control my own laughter at my own jokes. Sorry. All right, let me try this again without so much drama. All right. There once was a booger named.
Come on, get it together. Get it together.
Do you want to send it to me and I'll read it?
All right. There once was a booger named Bobby, whose internet feuds were his hobby. He worked on the border. I'm sure he's a hoarder who who angrily jostles his nobby.
Laugh, Jay. You know you want to laugh.
I'm laughing.
It's okay.
I'm just picturing Bobby screaming at his penis. Come! Come!
Just like roughing up the suspect, right? All right.
So good.
I'm so sorry. I really didn't know. I didn't count on not being able to get that out without laughing. I do apologize. And the last thing I'm going to say is this, besides that I love Jen, is that I have a gift for you. It's from me and Tanya. I did manage to locate the address.
Oh
to
shit,
send
you
it to.
messaged me. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
okay. When I didn't hear back from you, I reached out to Jen, as one does, and she directed me to where I could find it, and I should have known to look there anyway. So yeah, we're gonna send it. I'm gonna send it over to you, and I'm super excited about it, and I hope you absolutely love it. And please continue to do what you do. You know I love you. I love Jen. I love your whole team. I love this whole family. And go Bills. That's it.
Go Bills. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Leafy Green said 50 and sunny in interior Alaska today, which is shorts and hoodie weather. I go to Phoenix in a month for work. Might die. You're 100% gonna die. Amy said Bobby wants a wants to lollipop it for you. Call me Dyke said you deserve a good Blumpkin. Jesus Christ. Trudy said Bluetooth speaker may not have been the best idea after that. Thank you, Marianne, for the super chat. Jesus.
Yeah, Bluetooth speaker might not be a good idea, but
With me? Sorry. Yeah.
well, you and I just say whatever. So,
Yeah.
anyways, Mama, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, cool. I was like, oh, I actually got the mute button to work. So, let's see. Sorry, I have a list of stuff, and for some reason, it's
no.
like acting totally funky. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I can appreciate good organization.
Thank you. I'm an analyst by trade, so spreadsheets. Okay, so first, it's fucking freezing at 100 degrees. Like I'm freezing at the office today because apparently they decided that they needed to turn the AC all the way down to like 60 something degrees. So
I love
freezing
that.
in here today.
I love that.
I'm kind of second guessing that I haven't brought my hoodie into work yet. Anyways, and then also, like, when is your Jubilee episode airing? Do you know yet?
No, they said I'll check. I haven't seen any emails. What they told me when I left is that we would get an email about a week before it goes live. I think it's going to be sooner than later, but I'm checking the email right now. I haven't seen anything from them.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
The reason that I asked though is because I have gotten into so many different like conversations and arguing matches with MAGA relatives.
Uh-huh.
And I have one that has been in and out of the hospital. Like he has a whole bunch of different issues and stuff. Is on disability, and he
outside
all of a sudden
being a Trump supporter.
Yes.
Okay.
So but I have one relative in particular that he all of a sudden stopped. He stopped like posting things on social media about it. He stopped posting like, oh, cry harder libs, blah blah blah, all that bullshit. And now he's watching Jubilee Middle Ground episodes. And I'm like, huh. Because I've tried to tell them, like, hey, you should really listen to this, live or podcast or whatever, with you guys. And they're like, no, blah, blah, blah. You're just trying to, turn me into a lefty. And I'm like, no. Um, there's actually a lot of like middle ground about it. And he, I don't know, started watching them. So I'm
Yeah,
kind of excited for that.
I haven't watched a lot of them. I'll just say this, that they'll edit it because it was like 3 hours of shooting. So I don't think they show everything, but there was a lot of middle ground. Like we did find, at least on our episode, I haven't seen many, but we did find middle ground like many times. It was a good. I left. There's two people there that I've communicated with a little bit. Like I did leave feeling some respect for the Republicans that were there arguing, and found some really, like, I think, important common ground. So I think this episode will be one that's not. I don't think it'll come off as super contentious, and I think it'll be good for people who legitimately want to find a common ground.
Yeah. And that's awesome, because I know like we have a lot of family that like they take medication and they have all these issues and stuff. Um, and they're starting to realize that, like, hey, my medicine is more expensive, or like they work on cars. And so, like, hey, all my car parts are starting to get more expensive. And like they're starting to see it. And I can just kind of see um, them gradually moving back towards center.
Yeah. I
And
I see that with my friends that aren't like MAGA. Same.
yeah. Yeah. So even like my Republican, super religious, friends and family and stuff, they're like, I'm starting to question this now.
I
And
love
they're
that.
starting to question religion too, which is crazy, but good to see.
Well, good. Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let everybody know as soon as we know when it's coming out.
Cool.
Okay. Thanks.
Great.
Stay
Have a great
warm.
weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bree.
Oh,
Hey, Jen. Why you always do that when I come up?
sorry. I thought I was muted.
I don't think you thought that you were muted, but okay, rude. See, now I
He does
forgot what I was going to say.
He does
How
that.
much time do I have?
I haven't turned on a timer or anything, so
Wonderful. Let's sit here for a solid 20 minutes just
I mean,
in silence so that you
what
can
does he have
realize
to
that
do?
you're rude, Jay.
How have things been going for you, Bree?
Say again?
How have things been going for you?
Oh, sensational.
Yeah.
Just finishing my last semester of school. These pole classes, they've been great. Work's been kicking my ass, but that's okay.
Oh, well, I mean, just gotta keep plugging along.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm used to it. I'm used to it. It's okay. How are things going for you?
Oh, good. Things been busy.
Mhm.
Trying to keep everything on track, keeping people organized,
Got about
Love to see it.
got about 20 more seconds there.
20 more seconds?
Yep.
You did not put a timer on for me.
I did. It's on my watch.
Turn it off.
It does.
There's no reason to do that.
Well, there's other people. We got to get to everybody.
Yeah, hi everyone who's up here too. I think they probably wouldn't mind.
I'm gonna freak the fuck out. I can't do. We
Why
can't
are you
do
freaking out?
because small talk. You know why?
Small
I hate
talk?
this so much.
Okay. I mean, we can go deeper. It doesn't have to be small talk.
Sometimes small talk's all
I
people have.
also have to just come and let you know that your skills are not great. You trying to replicate
See, this
them
shade
giving a
isn't
blowjob is
this
awful.
isn't part of a praise king.
It's thick.
Just so you know.
It's very thick.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I had
I think you're
a
giving him
root,
too much credit.
root canal, and my jaw doesn't open quite as much as it used to. So
I
it
don't
is
think
what
it
is.
needed to open that much for Trump.
Oh,
You're giving him too much credit.
oh, I'm giving Trump
I don't
too much
even
credit.
think that they needed to choke on anything.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, sorry, my
You're
bad.
doing too much. Yeah,
Okay.
you're doing the most.
My bad.
And you know how that ends with him. Hmm?
Probably sounds like that.
No. Oh God.
All right.
No.
All right. Talking about
It
Trump
ends
ending
in it ends in nut
is
dust.
all I
There you
can.
go.
Nut.
Yeah. That's all. I didn't really come up here for anything. Just to make you a little bit uncomfortable.
Well, mission
But also
accomplished. Thank you.
start wearing like a bunch of different hat colors because you do the same black and white. So I also think that you're cheating and that you actually change your hat based on the votes. But that's just me.
I don't. I never. I promise I've never done that, but I appreciate it.
That's expecting him to have some kind of organization or
Yeah.
forethought before. So you're giving him too much credit. But all right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before you head out?
Nope, that's it. Just came to make him uncomfortable and say hello to you.
Well done.
My break.
Bye.
Shut up, Eli.
I love you for asking.
Hey,
What'd you
Say such.
that's right.
100%.
Sorry, just a recording again.
That's
I
okay.
really need to get that updated.
It hits every time.
I know it really does, but like it would hit harder if I could get him to say like different inflections. This one I kind of had to force him to make it, and he was like, "Fine, Jay sucks."
Sorry, I just saw somebody in the chat said he yells out Vladimir when he finishes.
Gross.
I'm sorry.
And this is why I love being here.
Yeah, it's a wonderful place.
It is. I just wanted to ask you a question too.
Sure.
You said that we need to sit with our discomfort and examine why we are so uncomfortable. So maybe you need to talk that out a little bit.
No, I give advice that I don't take. So
Do as I say, not as I do.
exactly. It's very Trumpian of me.
It's also very parent. So
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. All right. Anyway, that was it. I love you. You suck, but I love you anyway.
Love you too. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bowsy.
Can I just yield my time to Bree?
No, you cannot. Good question.
I just want to say thank you for shouting out the White Sox. It's not a great year. Wasn't a great year last year either.
When was the last good White Sox year?
Had a good, yeah, I was just gonna ask that.
What was the question?
When was the last good White Sox year?
So they made the playoffs COVID year, but like 80% of the MLB made it. But then they also made the playoffs in 2021 and I don't think they got swept, but they lost the first round. But they did win the World Series in 2005. So we had that.
Wow, that was recent.
Yeah, very recent.
Yeah.
I think I was just able to start drinking at that point.
Yeah. That was wait, 2008. Yeah, it was pre-Obama.
Yeah, it was. It was fresh out of college.
Yeah.
But I also it warmed my heart that you played my Blue Chew thing twice.
That was you the bit. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
didn't realize
funny.
you had it hot buttons ready to go.
I
so
do.
That made me smile.
I have a lot of hot, but I don't use them. I kind of forget what some of them are. I have like I have a Ghost Bus Higgins. We have Breeze song. We have Yours the Blue Chew. We have Pool Noodle, which I think is me. I can't like something about Republicans.
Pool Noodle.
Let's
Pool
play
Noodle
it.
was also me. I made that one.
All right, well let's play it while you're here. Like if I get a pool noodle and go to the park and LARP with my friends and dress up in costumes, how's that any different than being a Republican? Okay, yeah, that was you too. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that was one. Well, that one was easy. I just pulled the quote, but
I love the
made me
music
laugh.
you added to the Blue Chew one. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
that's right. I can't hear it when I'm in here, and just realized.
Oh, you guys neither of you heard that then, the pool noodle one?
No, well, no, I went back to the stream.
Well done.
But I have a whole bunch of generic music on my computer, so I just once I heard that, I knew I had to make an advertisement for it.
Jen, do you see this? Jen?
Yeah, yes, it's fine.
You're on it?
It's well, it's Irish's server. They it's people joining from Irish's server. I know.
You disabled the CAPTCHA? Is that what you're saying? Sorry, guys. I just got a security alert on Discord, so I was just making sure that Jen was aware of it. Okay, cool.
All right, I mean, those were the two big things. But once you played the Blue Chew, I went back and in the video edits channel there was a "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia"-esque ending for the show that I made.
In the
And so
video
I don't-
edits? Let me see. When did you make it?
It should be the second newest one, March 14th.
Let's see. I'm gonna play it for everybody. Let me figure. Let me drag this over. I can Thanks for all the support, and I will see you tomorrow. Stay cute and cool, and have a great summer.
Be gone from me now. What? Be gone from me, you soy boy beta cock. The transaction is complete. Be gone!
I like that. Thank you.
You always mention it. It's my favorite show too. So
It's so good.
it's the best.
All right.
All right.
Anything
Have
else?
a good weekend, Jen.
Thanks.
Nope. Have a good weekend, guys.
We'll see it.
Bye, Jay. Bye, Jen.
Is that everybody, Jen?
Looks like it.
All right. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back Monday morning. Unless, oh boy, I guess we got 20 minutes. Does that guy want to debate something? Was there someone that wanted to debate?
I saw someone say something. I said that we were done debating for the day, but I don't know if they're still here or not.
We'll let the chat decide. Thumbs up for a debate. Thumbs down for let's let it go. Jen, you want to make some announcements before we go?
Sure. So if you guys haven't already subscribed to us, please do so. On Twitch, you can use your Amazon Prime sub, or just a regular sub. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube. We've got 4 different memberships over there if you'd like to support us that way. Oh, I grabbed the wrong thing. Anyway, check out our link tree. We've got we're on most social media platforms, so you can see us just about anywhere. So if you want to go see where else we are, Facebook, X. Wow, my brain is mush today. It's fried.
That's fine.
And then we got merch. So we appreciate everybody helping out with our gift goal because this is our job. As much as people want to disagree. So Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats, all that goes towards helping us keep the lights on and doing this each day. We appreciate having you guys here. So I mean, there's people doing thumbs up. I don't know if the Michael is still here.
Did he message you?
I don't know. I haven't gotten anything from.
Okay. Well, Michael, if you're still here and you want to debate, you got to message Jen real quick. I'm going to read some comments. Jamar said, butt plug lube. Lily said, thanks for the laughs. Makes my workday so much better. I read that one about Alaska. Let me check these real quick. Okay. I think that's it. Bree wanted her song. So we'll do that. Here you go. Here's the Bree song. This is Biter made this. Song's playing, Jen. There you go. All right, what were we saying?
It's done playing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have one more joke for you before I leave. So, why did Karen press Control Alt Delete?
I don't know.
She wanted to see the task manager.
Oh my god, that's so stupid. That's so specific.
It was
I hate that one so much.
All right, I'll find try to put we got another Haps here.
Oh, what's up, Hap? Hap?
We can't hear you. Anima? Anima, we can't hear you. Going once. Going twice. All right.
Jen, that joke was a hit in the chat. That was
it?
that. I don't know if I've ever seen a more universally loved joke. I think I'm getting all the heat for not liking it. They liked that one.
Oh, I try not to read the comments when I'm in here. I can't focus, so
Yeah.
I don't read the comments because some people don't like it.
Yeah, that was a W for you.
All right, W me. All right.
Thanks,
Happy
Jen.
there? Hold on. Happy came back. He's trying to think.
What's up, Greg?
We can't hear you, bud. Wait, hold on. He's changing something. He's moving.
Chat's full of nerds.
All right. Okay. Well, it looks like he's having issues with his mic, so
All right.
let's just. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thanks. All right, everybody. We'll be back Monday morning and Monday morning through Friday. Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 1 Pacific Standard Time here on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, sometimes Twitter, and Facebook. Just real quick before we go, I want to wish all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day this weekend. You guys are wonderful. I hope that you get everything you deserve. And I hope that if the men in your life serve you like queens all weekend, you deserve it. Mothers are the greatest humans on earth. So I want to just wish all of you guys a happy Mother's Day. To my mom, if you're listening, I know you're on vacation. Happy Mother's Day to you. Jen, happy Mother's Day to you. To all our moderators that are mothers or could be mothers or would be mothers. I hope you enjoy your weekend. And I hope that you are treated the way that you deserve to be treated. For everybody else, go fuck yourself. We'll see you guys Monday morning. Stay cute and cool, and have a great summer.